fast. In the dark when I can't see, you remind me who I am. I don't wanna live without you in my life. You my strength, you my peace, you my life. Yahweh, you always come through. I don't wanna wait till another day. If I don't wake up walking in your grace, keeper of my soul, you the truth. Yahweh, you always come through. Oh, I remember those nights on the floor, trying hard just to breathe, just to cope. You were right in the middle of the mess, turning every single tear into hope, yeah. You a healer, a protector, a provider. You the fire when my faith feel low. Lift me up in the spirit when I'm tired. Whisper child, I'm never letting you go. Every time I fall, you catch me. Oh, yeah. Every time I call, you answer fast. When I'm drowning in my own thoughts, you pull me back, you pull me back. I don't wanna live without you in my life. You my strength, you my peace, you my life. Yahweh, you always come through, come through. Yeah. I don't wanna wait till another day. If I don't wake up walking in your grace, keeper of my soul, you're the truth. Yahweh, you always come through.
Been down bad, but you never let me down. When they walked away, you stayed around. I lay all my fears at your feet. Every chain, every shame, every doubt in me. Yeah.
Yahweh, you always come through. Yahweh, you always come through.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to ARP in the morning. I'm your brother Wise, man. Grace and peace to each and every one of you guys on this fine Friday morning. Thank you guys so much for pulling up and hanging out with us. We got a lot to get into, man. We have a heck of a show today. I promise you, this is going to be the fastest 2.5 hours of your day. Hopefully it'll be 2.5 hours. I know on Tuesday, my apologies, we went to 3 hours, but it was a great conversation. We have the usual prospects in the building. Celeste from Celeste_Duffy is in the building. So from Crystal Beyond Labels, we have my brother Minister Danzel in the building as well. Also, y'all already know what time it is. It is Friday, so be on the lookout for Ask Me Anything from Celeste and Gutter Bunny of the Week later in the show from Crystal. You guys, I got a chance. I did see the votes. Y'all a mess, man. We can't do an all the above. We can't do it, okay? We're unable to do so. So you're going to get 4. You got to make a decision, okay? Thank you. We also have my brother AT from Faith Under Fire and also the leader of the Garden Project in the building this morning as well. And we have my sister, Linda B from Chat With Me, Linda B in the building this morning. And we'll appreciate her pulling up as well. Before we get started, you know, we got to show some love to my folks in the chat real quick. And y'all already know what time it is. We got to start the day off properly with the verse of the day from my brother Hunter. And today's verse is from Isaiah chapter 1, verse 23. Let me pull him up real quick. Boom, there you go. So Isaiah chapter 1, verse 23 says, "Your rulers are rebels, partners with thieves. They all love bribes and chase after gifts. They do not defend the cause of the fatherless. The widow's case does not come before them." Thank you, Hunter. Thank you, Hunter. That's right on time, man. That is right on time. Shout out to Hunter, man. Appreciate you, brother. As always, North Carolina is in the building. Let me show some love to my folks in the chat. First and foremost, y'all make sure in the chat, y'all show Nanny some love because today is her 69th birthday. Y'all make sure y'all show Nanny some love in the chat. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you, Nanny. Hopefully your family, they get together and do something great for you. Enjoy your day today, or as Crystal would say, enjoy the next 3 or 4 weeks. I don't know how that works, but enjoy it. Enjoy it. But appreciate you pulling up and appreciate you supporting what we're doing over here at ARP. So happy birthday to you. Y'all make sure y'all show Nanny some love in the chat really quickly. Happy birthday, man. That is awesome, man. 69 years. That is phenomenal. That is a blessing. That is a blessing. What's up, Sonny? How you doing this morning? It's good to see you in the chat. What's up, Lori Addison? It's good to see you in the chat as well. What up, Papa Don? How you doing this morning? Junior Ray in the building. Shout out to you. Cool Ramon in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Thank you guys very much. What up, Suge? How you doing this morning, brother? Put them cigarettes down, okay? That's enough. That's enough. I'm telling you. Put the cigarettes down. All right? Appreciate you pulling up this morning, brother. Cincinnati in the building. What up, Mr. Largy? How you doing this morning? It's good to see you. Good to see you in the chat. Appreciate you guys pulling up. If you haven't already, hit the like button. Please hit the like button on the way in the building. Hit that like button for me. Super chat, super thanks are greatly appreciated. And shout out to all my ARP family members, man. Thank you guys so much for supporting what we're doing over here at ARP. I do not take it for granted. I'm very, very appreciative of you guys supporting what we're doing over here. Thank you guys very much. What's up, B? How you doing this morning, sister? It's good to see you as well. And shout out to the Blues also helping to keep things peaceful in the chat. We'll appreciate you guys supporting us as well, because I know it can get a little crazy from time to time. Shout out to Jessica. Thank you for pulling up this morning. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. What up, Teddy Marcel? Appreciate you pulling up. I did see the email, and shout out to you, man. He got that Pray Don't Worry hoodie. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate you supporting me, supporting this channel. Definitely appreciate you, brother. Shout out to Teddy. Thank you very much. Who else we got up in here this morning? All right. What's up, Francesca? How you doing this morning? It's good to see you. What up, Lewis? How's it going this morning, brother? It's good to see you in the chat as well. Appreciate you guys, man. Hit that like button for me. What up, Angela Montgomery? What's going on with you? New Jersey in the building. I know it's cold. Y'all still dealing with that snow up there? Fortunately for us, we got about 2 or 3 inches. It's already gone. I went and got my car washed yesterday, so I'm happy about that. But they are saying that we're probably going to get a little more snow sometime early next week. I'm not looking forward to it. Hopefully it won't be too much. It'll be a quick dusting and it'll be here and going the same day, hopefully, or at least the next day. What's up, Gerald? How's it going, man? It's good to see you. Appreciate you pulling up. What's up, Marla? How you doing this morning? It's good to see you in the chat. Appreciate you. What up, Annie Love? How you doing this morning? It's good to see you as well. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. All righty. Let me see. We got a couple other little housekeeping things to knock out real quick. So first and foremost, shout out to Pumpkin Chin joining the ARP family. Thank you very much. Shout out to Monkeys Will Win as well, joining the ARP family. Thank you to Q Fisher joining the ARP family. And thank you to, how do you say that? Is that Bree? Bree Knox. Hopefully I pronounced that properly. Thank you as well for joining the ARP family. Shout out to Warren. Appreciate you joining the ARP family as well. What's up, Lewis? How's it going? He says, good morning, brother. It's been a member for 5 months. Good morning, Brother Wise and ARP family. Shout out to you, man. Good morning to you. Grace and peace to you, brother. What up, Marla? Says, my 1-year anniversary. All right, now. Congratulations. Y'all make sure y'all show Marla some love. 1-year anniversary. That's awesome. Congratulations. Thank you to Moonlight for the $5 super chat. Says, the fall of the left is crashing out. Cause Paramount owns everything in Warner Brothers, even CNN. Okay. Appreciate you. And shout out to my brother Kenny Cooper. Big ballin' Kenny Cooper's in the building. Shout out to you. He says, good morning, y'all. I'm about to be in Houston, Texas. Enjoyed some 90 degree weather Wednesday, in southern Arizona. Goodness gracious. All right, shout out to you, Kenny Cooper, man. Get you some brisket for me. Get you a little bit of brisket for me. Shout out to you guys. And before we get going, I want to let you guys know that today's show is brought to you by our sponsor, The Garden Project. And for those of you guys that aren't familiar with The Garden Project was born out of a clear calling to bring believers together in a time of division, distraction, and isolation, as too many churches drift from biblical truth and Christians grow disconnected, the Garden Project creates something different, a fellowship rooted in scripture, built for action, and united across denominations. Each month, members gather one weekend at a time. Saturdays are for real fellowship, connecting through shared interests, building genuine relationships, and strengthening faith. Sundays are about service, local outreach led by regional leaders, meeting real needs and putting faith into action. If you are interested in joining the Garden Project, go over to thegardenproject.com and check them out. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me. You can reach out to Brother AT as well. We'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have about the Garden Project. Where's my banner at? Let me pull that up for you, just for you guys, so you guys can see that real quick. So go check out the Garden Project. Go to thegardenproject.com. All right, let me get ready to pull my folks up here, and we're gonna get this show started. Thank you guys so much for pulling up. Hit the like button for me. Like I said, super chat, super thanks are greatly appreciated. I will be monitoring the chat, so if there's anything that crosses my mind or crosses that I feel like needs to be presented, I definitely will do that. But if you have any questions, you want to add anything to the conversation, a super chat will be the best way to go about doing that. And let me get my folks pulled up. I think I got everybody. All righty. What's up, Minister Danzel? How you doing this morning, brother?
Hey. Good to be with you today, man. This is a blessed day.
Yes, it is. It's always a blessed day. You know, I'm always blessed. You know, people ask me, man, you know, I'm like ridiculously blessed. Always.
Hey, man, I want to say now. I want to say to Nanny, she's ridiculously blessed. Happy birthday.
Absolutely. Happy birthday. Absolutely. 69 years. That's awesome, man. Phenomenal. What up, Celeste? How you doing this morning, sister? Look at you, lunching, and you're muted. Come on now. Let's kick you out like we did Jason last week. Get out of here. What up, Crystal? How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Happy Friday, everyone.
Happy Friday.
And happy birthday to Nanny. Look, that is a blessing from the Lord. So happy birthday to you. And it is so nice to see your face, Wise, and Minister Denzel.
God bless you, sis.
The 3/4 zip, Minister.
Got that quarter zip, man. Hey.
As usual.
As usual. Yes. All right, Celeste. All right, how you doing this morning?
See, I was giving you a compliment, but you kicked me out, so now I can't say it. See, that's what happened. Good morning.
Well, I appreciate you. Well, I appreciate you anyway. All right, let me pull up AT. What's up with you, brother? How you doing, man?
Hey, good morning, fellow faithful. It's nice to see everybody today. Happy birthday, Nani. I think I call fraud, Nani. You don't look a day over 35. But happy birthday to you. Happy anniversary, Marla. Wise, it's nice to see you. Quarter Zip, it's nice to see you as well. Kool-Aid and Buffering. It's nice to see all four of y'all up here. I'm looking forward to the conversation.
And last but not least, let me pull up my sister, Linda B.
Hello.
Hey,
everybody. Oh, it's so good to be here. Thank you so much for letting me know about this. And I want to say also happy birthday to Nani and happy anniversary to Marla. All right. Amen. Shabbat shalom, saints.
Hey, well, appreciate you pulling up this morning, Linda B. We did get your trailer out there. It's resonating. I think there's a good amount of people. I don't know how many more people have voted, but they are out there. We will play that in the near future in this video.
I'm getting close, guys. I only get 21 last time I checked.
21 more votes.
21.
That's it.
Oh, come on.
We got to get these 21 today. That's got to happen today. Okay. Today. All right. We'll play that. You know what? Let's start there. We'll play. Let's play the trailer for Liz Town, and we'll start there, and then we'll get into the show.
Thank you.
My dog acting the fool.
You want to see the movie?
Hartsville is reeling today after the shocking removal of Mayor Brad Jones just yesterday afternoon.
Recognize this guy?
Oh yeah, that's a reporter from the Times.
Negative.
Are you sure? I haven't heard anything about the Times shutting down.
Things have taken somewhat of a drastic turn over the past 24 hours.
Liz, what's going on?
I don't recognize this number. Let me see it.
And some of you may feel like you're not quite ready for the change.
Answer it.
This is Liz.
Breaking news. There have been 2 reported injuries. One moment. Correction, there have been 3 reported injuries and 0 fatalities. At this time, we are unsure if the mayor is among those injured.
Liz, I'm gonna ask you one last time. What can these people be talking about? I don't know.
They're pissed at Liz, and we might be in trouble too.
Woo!
Outstanding, man. I'm gonna pin the link in the chat. Please, we need 21 more people to go and vote on this so this thing can get greenlit.
We need 1,000 more.
Let's make it happen.
As many as possible.
As many as possible. Absolutely.
After the 1,000 votes, they have to meet to discuss if they want to really do it. But you got to get those 1,000 votes first.
Amen.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Oh, that's awesome, man. And my folks in the chat, can we make sure that we hit that like button? Hit that like button for me. And we're gonna get things kicked off. I don't know if you guys see my message in the chat there, my folks here, but let's kind of keep it sharp, at least early on anyway. Let me play these first couple for you. We're gonna get into segment number 1, and Florida is setting the precedence here. They're actually setting the standard. I gotta say that Florida's probably it's one of the top 5 states in the country right now with everything that they have going on. And, I don't know if you guys heard about it, but they had over 2,000 students decide that they're going to walk out of school, and they're being punished for it severely. And then I also want to show a contrast to what happens to these young people when they do this. It can be bad. It can go left very quickly. I want to play this clip for you guys, and I want to get your thoughts on it. Let's get into it.
Dozens of Lee County public school students have been suspended for their involvement in ICE protests at Lee County high schools. Now a state senator is claiming the teachers union helped orchestrate the walkouts. Gulf Coast News chief political reporter Dave Elias just got out of an exclusive interview with the school superintendent. And Dave, do we know how many students have been suspended?
Well, Kelly, we're actually working to confirm just how many students have been suspended, but we're told the suspensions have not all been handed down. The district says there are more than 3,600 students who participated across 14 different schools. But the big question tonight is why were so many students suspended exercising their First Amendment rights? Students at Cape Coral, Ida Baker, North Fort Myers, all walking out of classes protesting ICE arrests.
It was mostly unity that we just wanted to show.
Holding signs and chanting against ICE.
We all kind of walked around the school protesting. We were saying what we feel.
Some students jumping fences and leaving school.
I did not want my child to be part of this.
State Senator Jonathan Martin making this claim in Tallahassee without evidence.
I've heard accusations from just my district in Lee County that school teachers were helping organize political speech and a walkout.
Was the teachers union behind these walkouts, or did you orchestrate them?
No, we didn't.
Teachers union president Kevin Daly demanding proof.
Would like for him to show how talc organized or, planned.
I don't have any information that's been shared with me that the union's behind it.
Superintendent Dr. Denise Carlin refusing, though, to say just how many students have been suspended. We've heard over 100. Is that about accurate?
I don't have those numbers right now. I don't. I've heard a couple of dozen.
For what types of things are kids getting suspended?
If you jumped the fence and left campus, or you walked out a door and left campus and you created an unsafe situation, not only for yourself, but for other students, we're not going to put up with that.
What proof is there?
They actually had the ability to write down people's names when they saw things that were inappropriate. There are also videos.
Are you against these types of demonstrations?
But I am not okay with unsafe situations, with children refusing to listen to the adults in our building.
Do you think you're taking a hardline approach on this?
I'm very clear. We are about teaching and learning.
Now, the superintendent tells me that demonstrations made some students feel unsafe. She also tells me the district is reevaluating its approach just in case there are any more walkouts that occur.
This afternoon, a mother says she just wants answers after her special needs son is found wandering miles away from his school when he was supposed to be in class.
I don't feel safe. I'm just scared to go back. There's something could happen that same day again.
11-year-old Richard Harley says he doesn't want to go back to class after he was found wandering, scared and alone, miles away from school grounds following a student-led walkout protesting ICE.
They were supposed to stay on 72, like by the school, but they did the exact opposite. It went just way more farther, and no one even knew like how far they were going.
So you kind of got.
I was like the last one, so I was like all alone.
The incident happened Tuesday morning at Dundee Middle School in the far northwest suburb where the 6th grader is a student.
What's going on?
His mother says she was not notified about the walkout, and because her son has special needs and an individualized education program, or IEP, takes issue with him being allowed to leave campus without supervision or parental authorization.
Why didn't I get, a notification that he was tardy, or absent for that matter? Why didn't they even bother calling in?
Blaisdell says her son didn't understand what the walkout was about and merely went along with the other students when they went outside. She says the protest turned dangerous for Richard when he couldn't keep up with the other kids who were marching along Main Street and Route 72 Higgins Road. Blaisdell said her son called her in a panic.
He said, you just need to come pick me up. I don't know what's going on. I'm very scared.
The 34-year-old mother of 3 says she called police but was able to locate her son through his cell phone about 10 minutes later near the busy intersection of 72 and Randall Road.
It's not right because my kid, again, is supposed to be safe, in school.
It's sad, man. This is a sad state that we're seeing in public schools across the country. I mean, I think we discussed it maybe a week or so ago. What happened out in Georgia where the kids, decided that they were going to jump out there and protest. But this is ridiculous, man. It really is. I'm at this point now where, hey, get your kids out these public schools away from these radical Marxist teachers. Minister Dans, I'll give you the first word. What are your thoughts?
First of all, thank you for showing that clip and discussing this topic. This is a good example and a good reason why we have to be on our A game and on top of this, because these people who are manipulating these students are not playing. They are very well organized and they are consistent. And that's why our message has to be just as consistent and just as clear. These kids are getting influenced by this constant messaging. ICE is evil and the government is tyrannical. We have to respond to that with such intelligence and consistency that it helps to deprogram them. Because listen, they don't just do this for no reason at all. I thank God for the people that are reporting on this, but we need to expose the people behind this. I think they need to track down the people that are behind this, because the kids, this is not the kids doing this.
Absolutely. Crystal, what are your thoughts?
What I feel is that these teachers and this school system is getting way out of hand. And as I've said on my podcast, they're creating an environment that is dangerous for children, not just having them walk out of school and putting them in danger. Georgia, we showed where they almost got hit by a car out in these streets. Now they have a child the special needs child, just somewhere randomly, that child could have got kidnapped. And then we just saw recently, I didn't air it, and I'm glad you didn't either, where the kids now feel emboldened to beat up other kids if they don't stand up and agree with F ICE and F Trump. And you're seeing kids get beat down brutally in school because they're not standing with it. So they're creating a hostile environment for these kids because, again, this is all indoctrination. Get your kids out the public school system because it's dangerous. And until it is fixed, no one should be putting their kids in school anymore. Homeschool them.
I would agree with that. And I wouldn't dare, showcase that, but I did get a chance to see it, and it's sad. Your kid is supposed to go to school to get an education, not be bullied because of, some form of political, affiliation. And to be honest with you, I don't know about you guys, but in the 90s, when I was in middle school, high school, we weren't thinking about politics. That was the last thing on our mind,
I was looking for the ladies.
Exactly. Linda, what are your thoughts?
I say this is a prime example of how the devil himself, the enemy, is going after the children. This is another attack on our youth. I mean, we've got the abortion thing. We've got the drag queen thing. We've got the inappropriate books. Yeah, now they're teaching them to be activists. The whole point. And I even saw a clip that I did on my channel from a preschool in Harlem, New York. These kids were like, they looked to be 3 and 4 years old, and they were teaching them to be activists, to be against what ICE is doing. And one little black boy said, the teacher said, "How do you feel?" He said, "I feel angry." That's the whole point.
Yep.
They're trying to raise them up to think a certain way, to hate their country, because they're looking for the long game too, as well as the short game. And they got to have people who are already indoctrinated at a very young age.
Yes.
And again, I repeat what you all have already said. Get your children out of these public schools, because they are raising up activists. And that is part of the reason why these public schools have such horrible numbers with reading at the right grade level and math at the right grade level, because they're focused on the wrong thing.
You're absolutely right. Somebody in the chat said it was satanic, what they're doing to these kids. And it's definitely that. It's definitely that. AT, I'll give you the next word, bro.
You know, schools used to be designed to tell kids how to think, not what to think. And we've seen that shift happen, which is why homeschooling is at an all-time record high. And I anticipate that's going to keep going. I just wanted to point out, because y'all made some great points, I just want to point out some of the lies I heard during that series of clips that you put up there, Wise. First of all, this county, Lee County, it's an average county. It's got a B average. Just know that in the United States of America, a B average for the overall high school, they have about a 49% literacy rate for students who are graduating when they're proficient or above reading language at a 3rd grade level. So let that one sink in. But they had said that it's a violation of their First Amendment right. And it's easy to say that. It sounds great. It's also not true. According to Tinker versus Des Moines in 1969, the U.S. Supreme Court held that students' speech can be restricted if it causes a material or substantial disruption or interferes with the rights of others. I would argue that thousands of students walking out is a material or substantial disruption, but the problem is the individuals who have to come out and say that this goes against this ruling are the teachers. And the teachers are not going to do that, because the teachers are the ones that organize this. If you have any children at all whatsoever, if you're a parent of adult children, you explain to me right now how thousands of adolescent, immature high schoolers are coming together and organizing literally anything besides something that is having to do with alcohol or sex. There's a lot of lies up here, and we're seeing this being trickled down to the students. We got to speak up about this and stop putting your kids in these schools.
Absolutely. Celeste, we'll give you the last word and we'll keep it moving.
Yeah, I think that as they were saying, they used to teach children how to think and not what to think. I think the shift is actually that they're teaching children not to think and to feel. This is an exploration in teaching children to feel. But beyond that, they're trying to pass a slick one by us, which is that you saw the broadcaster ask, what was the problem with the children exercising their free speech? Okay, so let's understand that they don't have any free speech. Okay, you don't have any free speech. The Constitution says that the government cannot abridge your speech, but everyone else can. Everyone else can do it. If you remember, they sued Oprah because Oprah said on her show after that she would never eat another hamburger, and she tanked the beef industry, and they took her to court. Oprah was on trial for 9 weeks.
That's true.
Thinking that she wasn't gonna make it. She had to have a psychologist, Dr. Phil, by her side to keep her strong so she could endure. The big problem with Colin Kaepernick and the taking the knee, which people said was an expression of free speech, was the fact that he did it at work. This is not your time. This is your boss's time. You can't do anything you want. So people are under the false belief, because they keep telling people you have free speech. No, the government cannot abridge your speech. Everybody else can. You contract your speech away all the time. If you work at a job where there's a uniform, you've contracted your speech away. We are doing that all day, every day. You don't have free speech anywhere else. So that's number one. Number two, I don't think these children should have been suspended. I don't think it is fair to organize children to do something and then suspend them once they do it. However, you absolutely should suspend the teachers and the administrators from these schools, because they had these little 4th and 6th and 8th graders out there, however old they were, had them out there marching and trying to protest. This is on them. And the parents need to put that on them. They endangered their students. Priscilla is right. They are creating danger. Schools are becoming dangerous places. You endangered the students. And worst of all, you acted outside of the parents' permission because they seem not to have gotten any notification or any ability to say whether or not they want their child to participate, which means the school has superseded the authority of the parents. And they do this all the time. And parents have got to stop taking this. Number one, take your child out of these schools. But on the way out, sue them. Put a class action suit together and sue these schools and tell them they have no right to take your children anywhere they want to take them, anytime they want to take them and do anything. They're not their parents. Put these schools back in their place.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there. Hey, I think what we all gather out of this is get your kids out of these wicked public school systems and away from these Marxist teachers. It's awful, man. It's awful what's going on. Let me read a couple super chats and we'll keep it moving. Shout out to White Mike coming through with the $2 super chat. Says, good morning, Wise. I'm ready for a great show. Outstanding. Shout out to Kenny Cooper with the $2 super chat. Says, Linda is the superstar 100. Shout out to Billy W. Says, this is why you teach your kids not to follow off the bridge. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you to Marine _0699 for joining the ARP family. Thank you very much. And shout out to Jim Modi coming through, or Jim Modi, sorry about that, with the $5 super chat. Says, these adults that are corrupting these children should be aware that a millstone has been made especially for them. Amen. That day is coming. Absolutely. Thank you. That was a good one right there. I like that. I like that. All right, let's keep it moving. Hit the like button for me if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys so much for the super chats and super thanks. We got to go up to New York real quick. Let's go to New York. I'm going to play this clip. And Minister Dems, we'll give you the first word when we come back.
The NYPD making an arrest in Monday's snowball attack on police in Washington Square Park. The 27-year-old Guzman Coulibaly is under arrest for his role in Monday's attack. That left 2 New York police officers injured. Coulibaly is no stranger to police. He was arrested just a few weeks ago for an attempted robbery in the transit system. You'll remember this is how Mayor Mamdani described Monday's incident.
I can just tell you from the video I saw, it looked like kids at a snowball fight.
The governor of New York was asked about Monday's attack and said this.
Our police officers put themselves in harm's way every single day, and there is no circumstance where it's okay to throw anything at a police officer, so that is appropriate.
Did you put rocks in the sound?
We can answer some questions.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah.
I will answer some questions.
Okay, no problem. Some very serious claims being made right now, including them saying that he put rocks in the snow before throwing them at officers.
This is the first I'm hearing of rocks in the snow. I don't know where you got that from. There's nothing in the criminal complaint that says that.
You've mentioned in court that you felt this was politicized. How's it been politicized?
I think it's obvious to most New Yorkers. I think the police have an issue with the mayor of our city. I think they're taking it out on Mr. Coulibaly. They want to pick a fight with the mayor. I don't think this is the way they should be doing it. From what I've seen, there are not many things that the mayor and I agree on. I'm not the biggest fan. However, I did see the videos, and my client, according to them, I haven't seen a specific indication that my client was throwing a snowball. But going based upon what they said, that they have an indication that he actually threw a snowball, that's all it was. There's no information that there were rocks, that these were ice snowballs. The police went so far as to charge him with a C violent felony. Okay?
Does that raise a due process issue in your view, that other people are getting similar charges?
Well, I don't think that's a due process issue. I think it's selective prosecution. I don't know how they decided on Mr. Coulibaly. Frankly, we're not there yet. All I can go by is what I heard in the courtroom and what I had in this criminal complaint. And thankfully, the DA Bragg was, and his assistant who's handling the case, was able to see through the politicization of this and reduced it to obstructing governmental administration.
Absolutely. If this early on, this mayor cannot condemn the actions of not children, these were grown people who were throwing snowballs, disrespecting our police officers. It is unconscionable. And you know what? It sets a terrible tone, Stuart, for this term. He's already been the leader of the defund the police movement. He's already saying he's not going to hire 5,000 more cops as Mayor Adams had planned in the pipeline. He's already cutting overtime from our police, which will make our streets less safe. And now he won't hold individuals who assault or attack or disrespect our police officers accountable. And this is a differentiation with the police commissioner, who has clearly unequivocally said that those individuals should be held accountable and charged.
Minister Danzel, wherever you want to go.
Wow, I'm glad that this happened because it gives us another example of just how sick Mamdani is and what we as New Yorkers have voted for. This is not rocket science. This is a simple matter. You do not abuse abuse police officers. I mean, and what's sad about this is that we have people in the news media. I was looking at Robbie on the Horizon. He says that if the cops are complaining about being hit with snowballs, they're being childish. Now, this is a popular major news media making a dumb statement like that. So you're saying it's okay to abuse a cop, and that kind of mentality is dangerous, man. You're looking at a complete breakdown of sanity in New York when you just can hit a cop anytime and it's okay. This is dangerous. I think it's dangerous, and I think that it's going to. They need to start thinking about finding ways to get this guy out of here, man. Because if you can say that without any kind of crime, call it a snowball fight, you're a serious problem to our city.
Absolutely. The fact that they're not going to add the additional 5,000 police officers in New York City is a problem. But then you added, a multitude of DEI positions that are going to be, and these folks are going to be paid combined millions of dollars.
Yep.
It lets you know that this guy here is about lawlessness. What we're seeing, we're actually seeing something, kind of transpire across the nation when it comes to the Democrat Party. We're seeing that they are the anti-America, anti-God, anti-law party. Yes. They're showcasing it. I need people to believe it. Yes. That's the thing. People need to see it, believe it, and say, you know what, we can't support this. We can't stand with this. What are your thoughts?
They're not hiding it. They're saying it openly. They're admitting it now.
Absolutely. It's overt now.
How I feel is I'm sure we can go back on ARP some time ago and we will see that we discussed that this is who Mamdani is. And we told everybody, get out there and vote. Get out there and vote. And we said, this man wants to defund the police. I don't understand why people don't believe people when they tell you what they feel. I mean, he said it plain as day, and it was never a joke. We say stuff here and we're being funny, and everybody knows we're being funny. But this man put it up there and then was out in the streets chanting these things, defund the police. I want to close the prisons. I want to do this. He told you what he wanted. I don't understand why y'all don't believe them. And then everybody is shocked. And then Miss Hochul up there, Hochul, whatever you want to call her name, her over there, sat there and campaigned with him. And then now you have to be dealing with somebody who is doing everything opposite of what you would want done. And this is your election. So he's not even laying low during your election year to make sure that everything runs smoothly for you.
No respect.
He doesn't care. As I always say, welcome to finding out season. I love my New Yorkers. 18 knows I used to rep my New York real hard. But right now, I'm still proud to be a New Yorker birthed, but I'm from the 90s. Listen, I'm a Gen X New Yorker, okay? Let me just tell y'all right now. That was a different world. That was a different life. And I pray for New Yorkers. And shame on Mamdani and the Democratic Party for doing what they do. But again, I'm not saying shame on them because they're telling the American people. Right. So shame on the voters who keep putting them back in office when they keep telling you over and over and over and over again who they are.
Absolutely. Linda, what are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, in order for it to be a snowball fight, you need both sides to be throwing snowballs. Okay. All this thought of snowballs going one way. And I think they mentioned that some rocks were inside of the snowballs.
Yeah,
Not sure
rocks
that
and ice. Rocks
I'm sorry.
and ice.
See, and then Mom Donnie did mention on another clip that he heard that a couple of officers got some cuts on their face. So this is the party of lawlessness, like you said. Democrats have proven themselves over and over again. They anti-God, anti-family, anti-American, just all for matter of foolishness and lawlessness. And another thing about these, going up against these police officers and ICE agents is my opinion. I'm going to say allegedly here, that the Democrats want something else to happen. That's why they got people out here in people's faces. I did on my channel where a lady said to an ICE agent, shoot her. She said, shoot me. And then she called a black ICE agent the N-word. They're using the most inflammatory language they can think of to arouse a response. So that something will happen, and then the Democrats would use it for their political advantage, saying, see, we told you they're dictators, they're Nazis, they're fascists. This is just another example. And they're not just telling us who they are showing us who they are repeatedly. And again, I agree with Crystal, shame on the voters, because y'all need to do some research. And you've been voting Democrat for decades and you see what you're getting. And all y'all heard was free. Free, free, free. I tell people, when you hear free, 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 you need to run, because somebody's got to pay for it. And it's going to be the class person.
Absolutely. AT, get in there, bro.
Oh man, you gotta stop putting Linda in front of me. She took all the points I was gonna say. It's not a fight if you're not fighting back. I'm gonna go different directions. There's two things I saw that was wrong with this. First of all, I'm shocked none of y'all said it. That disgusting, sleazy lawyer that is defending this young man. We got to solve our lawyer problem in this country by giving defense lawyers the exact same penalty that whoever they're representing gets, and then all of a sudden people won't be jumping up for the money and defending people who are clearly guilty. I just want to highlight that one. But what does the law say? This happens all the time with the left, whether it was down in Texas with Crystal, help me out. The boy that stabbed the young boy in the high school, that was a big one. Thank you, Carmelo Anthony. And in this situation right here, it was just a snowball fight. I saw the same videos that Linda saw. Mondani is well over his head to be a mayor of New York City. But New York penal law 120.00. If there is an intent to cause physical injury, actual physical injury occurs, which it did. Thank you, Linda. You saw the other videos. And under penal law 240.26, intent to harass, annoy, or alarm, which includes physical contact and or the attempt or threat of physical contact. So obviously, this is objectively against the law. Not a single police officer picked up a snowball and threw it back. The most you ever saw of these videos, there's 3 of them, is a squad car rolling through New York City and on the speakerphone making fun of the people throwing snowballs at them. That's the most you're ever going to see. So do you want to know if they're hypocritical or not? Flip the script. If ICE was taking snowballs and throwing it at people, not even just legal immigrants, just throwing it at people, and then those people never threw a snowball back. Those people covered themselves and tried to move past it, and then they came out and said, no, it was just a snowball fight. I think that liberals would be highly upset. I think this would be on CNN, MSNBC, Good Morning America, and The View, talking about how racist and awful it is that they're throwing these snowballs. I don't understand how you can support ideology that is so unbelievably hypocritical and gives the middle finger to the law every single chance it can, so long as it pushes their agenda. And the concern I have is, pull at that thread and see what direction it takes you. You are the ones calling for violence, for civil war, for the unaliving of public officials, and all these things. What happens when you get what you want? What happens when the other side that has been extremely patient with your immature behavior, that has been extremely patient with you going against the Constitution and the foundation of this country, what you gonna do whenever they play the exact same game? I'm tired of the crying. I'm tired of the toddler behavior from the left.
I would agree. The officers, the patience that they had, especially, I'm not gonna lie to you, my fuse can be a little short. If I would have got hit with a snowball with a rock or ice in it, I probably would have snapped. That would have did it for me. And the fact that these guys, they just took it. Not to mention, and AT, I know you want to get back in there. Not to mention, do you guys recall, I believe it was last summer, when 2 or 3 illegal immigrants jumped on the police officer? Do y'all remember that? They jumped him and they were beating the heck out this dude. And he didn't pull taser out. He didn't pull gun out. He didn't pull, nightstick, billy club, whatever you want to call it. He didn't call that out. He just took that. And then those dudes got arrested, and then they were out the same day. I just don't know how these guys can be New York police, be a part of the NYPD, and not get the support that is needed from the mayor. Like, how can you do this job?
A lot of them are leaving. A lot of them are
Yeah, a lot
out.
are leaving. Yeah.
Down to Florida, down to Texas. I wanted to add this one point before I get over to Celeste, and I apologize. If you have never worn a uniform, if you've never done crowd control, never had to carry a deadly weapon with you to enforce laws, you're not going to understand the depth of what police officers have to go through. And I know that someone's going to come in here and see a black man advocating for the police and be upset. I don't care. I have worn a uniform. I have carried a weapon. I have had to do crowd control. I agree with you, Wise. If I had a snowball if I just had a snowball smack me in the side of the face, and if I'm doing my job, at a bare minimum, you're tasting the concrete. At a bare minimum, you might get pepper sprayed, and there's a wide bevy of things that can happen beyond that.
And
consequences and arrested. I mean, you could lose your life depending on the cop and the location, what you put in that snowball. I guarantee you pee into some snow, put into a snowball, and throw it at someone's face, they might be highly upset. We're not teaching these people consequences because the second that they happen, they cry, they get upset, and they can't argue with logic.
Excellent. Crystal, I'm sorry. Celeste, we'll give you the last word.
New York, you are trying my patience. Every week we got to come on here and deal with you. And I don't think I'm going to make it 4 years through Mendami. I'm not. If this is where we're starting, and this, I'm right now taking a temperature check on me. Okay, I know you all are talking about a political issue and the state of New York and the snowball fight. I'm sitting here going, I can't do this anymore. First of all, I don't have any empathy. I'm a person generally has little sympathy, and you are working my ability to care down to zero because I am convinced you don't care. And since I'm convinced you don't care, I'm starting to feel stupid if I care. And I can't be in a situation where I feel stupid. That is not a great place for me. I just can't do that. And I definitely can't do that on behalf of someone else. It's one thing if I'm making my own mistakes, I got to deal with my Lord on that. But I can't be making mistakes on behalf of you. And New Yorkers, you are asking too much of me right now. You are really asking a lot. We should have known this was going to happen. There's nothing in here that isn't predictable. And for as long as the winter persists, I suspect we should see it again because there's been nothing so far that has happened that would advise anybody not to go back out and not only do it again, but do it more intensely. So the police should be expecting it. The revelers should expect it. The city hall and Kathy Holcomb and the state should all expect it. And they know, those police know that they have been told that they cannot do anything. It is not that they're patient. They have been told this. They did it in Baltimore. Wise, you'll remember that.
Yeah.
They have done it all over. The police have been handcuffed, and basically they're targets for abuse in uniform. And if they stay there, and I hope they don't, I understand people feel like it's difficult to uproot their family and their life, and you might be close to a pension and trying to, just how to get through the next 3 years or whatever to get your pension and then finally go wherever it is you're going to go. I understand all of those considerations, but they are making a fool of you. They are making you stand before the world impotent.
Yes.
They are making a fool of you. Stop doing this.
Amen.
And if you must, at least expose it.
Right.
At least come out and say, no, we would have liked to enforce the law, but we have been given orders not to, and throw it back on them. Stop standing there in that uniform, in that position that we all respect, which is we back the blue. Stop standing there like that and let those people abuse you and ridicule you and make you look like a fool. It is exhausting for me to watch. And I'm telling you, New York, y'all are trying my patience. I am doing as much for you as I can do. I am not, other than going up to the line and opening my car door to get Mr. Denzel out in the runaway car. That is my last official act as far as New York is concerned.
I hear that. Hey, this is the winter months. If this is what's going on when it's cold outside,
Oh man.
I can only imagine what this summer is going to look like
Yeah.
up there.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, because it normally gets a little crazy in the summer months anyway. I can only imagine what that's going to look like. Me read a couple super chats and we'll keep it moving. Shout out to Sensen with the $2 super chat. Says there was stones in the snowballs. Yeah, I heard that. Stones and ice. Out to Michelle coming through with the $80 super chat. Thank you very much for supporting us. Appreciate you.
Amen.
Appreciate you. I think this is one of the best podcasts on YouTube. May God bless you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Shout out to LS. He says lots of NY cops got beat up when de Blasio was mayor. Okay.
Oh, I remember that.
Shout out to you know me with the just coming through. He says, when did a 27-year-old man become a child? Yeah, that part. Shout out to Mike C. He says free equals flee. Shout out to my guy Jeff over at It's Not Your Fault Al-Anon Recovery Channel with the $11 super chat. Says, good morning, family. Hey, Linda, shaking my head. Weeks after the election in New York City, his voters are flummoxed that Mumdummy is doing what he said he would do. They will line up behind the next shiny new penny. Yeah, unfortunately. Shout out to SAC West Coast coming through with the $10 super sticker. Thank you very much. And thank you again, Jeff, for coming through with the $11 super chat. Says, let's be honest, these miscreants could turn themselves in today. They'd be released in an hour and charges drop. Cops are hamstrung. Yeah, they definitely are. It's unfortunate, man. And thank you to Faith coming through with the $5 super chat. Says, one of Satan's tactics for sure is to seduce you into sin, then accuse you. We must be aware of his vices and avoid it at all costs.
Good
Thank you
point.
very much. Thank you very much. You're absolutely right. We'll be right back with Ask Me Anything.
Yes. Ask me anything.
Good morning and welcome back to Ask Me Anything. I would like to thank all the people that sent in questions. I will say I had a great question from someone in the chat. However, I'm going to probably have to do that next week because it was very involved. They had a list of items they wanted me to do. So it's going to take me some time to kind of get through that. However, for today, I did have a question from a friend of mine. And today's question was, what do you think about Democrats not standing when Trump asked if they agreed with his statement? If you remember at the State of the Union this week, Trump asked, if you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The statement was, the first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens. Many, likely most, of the Democrats refused to stand in a show of support for that statement. Their lack of support was in stark contrast to the Republicans who were clapping and cheering for several minutes for a very long time, especially when you think TV time. The amount of time that they just sat there fidgeting in their seats while the Republicans were clapping illustrated an amazing contrast. This was a demonstration of the Democrats' adherence to the devastating effects of immigration on the American people. But more importantly, it was a clear rejection of their duty as stewards of our interests. With that one action, sitting, they announced with no uncertainty that they do not work on behalf of the American people. And they sat in rigid defiance at the assertion that they should work on behalf of the American people. After Tuesday's State of the Union, it can no longer be denied that voting Democrat is an exercise in masochism. This feeling of joy or virtue that is derived from watching your country become impoverished, reduced in power on the world stage, and burned to the ground is unacceptable. We must reject the deception of democracy and instead insist that our elected leaders return to the guarantee that only a republic can deliver to a people who are desperate to remain free. This has been Ask Me Anything. Please send your questions to askmeanything4547@gmail.com, and I will answer next Friday, maybe, or the Friday after that, because next Friday I have a couple that I needed to do the work for this week. But again, Ask Me Anything 4547@gmail.com.
Ask me anything. I'm a poor person. Of course I carried before I married. My name's Haley.
My name's Matthew, and we're pregnant. What did he say?
I'm a poor person. Of course I went to college. I'm a poor person. Of course I buy depreciating assets. I'm a poor person. Of course I'm getting divorced. I'm officially divorced. I'm a poor person. Of course I don't raise my kids in the home with their father.
You are not.
I'm a poor person. Of course I don't restrain myself sexually. Duh.
And he'd be like, damn, I wish I had some head. I'd be like, yo, bro, I got you.
I'm a poor person. Of course I won't read The Ass Backwards Way to Move Forward.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. Well, hey, you guys seen the ad. Make sure you go over there and go to Amazon and pick up The Ass Backwards Way to Move Forward. Go over there and support our sister Celeste. I promise you, you will love this book. And I think you can get it both ways, right? You can get the Kindle version or you can get the actual paperback. Maybe we got to figure out a way that we can get one signed or something, and maybe we can raffle it off or something, Celeste. We'll talk about that.
Oh, absolutely. Happy to do so. I can give you a couple, actually.
Okay, cool. We'll make that happen. That was outstanding. I love that. And I appreciate the question. And I've been saying it all week. That was a mask off moment for Democrats. And everybody got an opportunity to see where their loyalty lies. And I appreciated it. So yeah, good job. Good job with the segment.
The thing in that was not even that they sat. The really the genius, and I have to say it was Trump. To resist the urge to come in and do something, but to stop himself, restrain himself, and let them stand minute and second. TV time is longer than any other time.
Absolutely.
So
I think they said it was like 3 minutes.
Yeah. Watching that really, I mean, it was. I think it really shocked the American people who looked at it, because they had a real chance for it to sink in. These people are actually, they're not going to move. They're not going. It was a seminal moment, in my opinion.
I would agree with that. All righty. Hit the like button for me if you haven't done so already. Let's keep it moving. I want to play this clip from Stephen A. It is on the lengthier side of things. I want to let this thing play out and let it flesh out. Stephen A. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. We can go ahead and say that it is official. This dude is running for president. He will be in the Democratic primary come what would that be, next year or so? Yeah. He is going to be there. And he is doing everything that he can to make sure that he shows that there is a contrast between him and the way he feels and the core of the Democrat Party right now. And he goes in on everybody. Let's get into it.
About protecting American citizens and prioritizing them ahead of migrants. He set you up. He knew you weren't going to stand. He knew 73 of y'all were going to show up to other places and not show up to the State of the Union. He knew that a lot of Americans that were moderates on both sides of the aisle were going to look at y'all as being every bit as out of control as you claim he is. The difference is that he takes those positions and the heat that comes with it as the incumbent, the president in office. You couldn't keep him out. And he's making the claim that you hate him so much, you're devoid of objectivity, and you're devoid of thinking about what's in the best interest of the United States of America because you're too busy thinking about your own personal feelings and animus towards him. If you consider the question that he asked about putting America first and American citizens first, he didn't sit up there and say white Americans or black Americans. He said Americans, meaning that if you're an American citizen, no matter what, you could be of African American descent, you could be of Hispanic descent, you could be of white descent. It doesn't matter. The fact that he said America before everybody else and the Democrats didn't stand up is a reminder of what lost them the election in 2024. And see, this is where I get pissed off because I'm not rooting against the Democrats. I'm rooting for them. Speaker Mike Johnson was on Sean Hannity's show last night in the immediate aftermath of the State of the Union address, smiling ear to ear, talking about how the GOP was definitely going to use Ilhan Omar screaming at the president and the Democrats refusing to stand up when they had that question posed to them by Trump, purposefully, I might add. They're going to use it as a campaign tool. I mean, you can't see it coming. You can't understand the importance of prepping yourself and preparing yourself not to fall for the okie doke. And then you wonder why people like me get pissed off. Independents who are moderates, who usually vote left. And we're saying time and time again, stop falling for the bait. You're playing right into his hands. And you won't listen. You won't listen. And then it's us that's against y'all. We're not down for democracy. We're not down for what's right. We're not down for the Democratic Party. You're not looking at the fact that you're not giving us to care about. You're not giving us enough to support.
As a black man, civil rights legislation, 1964, I'm going to ask the Democratic Party, tell me what you've done for us since that time. You've had at least 80% of our votes since then. Tell me what we've gotten out of it. Because it seems to me like we still got some of the same troubles. You've given us more access to capital. I'll give you that. But what else have you done? Fair Housing Act, Civil Rights Act, Voting Rights Act, I got you. But what have you really done for us? You understand? When you were sitting up there and you were a progressive left, hard left, and you were pushing, transgender, athletes transitioning from male to female, competing with with young ladies. How did that benefit the black community? When you were talking about cancer culture and woke culture and people were getting dismissed, suspended, or fired for pronouncing the wrong pronoun or something, how did that help the black community? You sure you didn't sell us out? You sure that you weren't doing this to ingratiate yourself with a different voting bloc so the black vote wouldn't mean as much to you as it once did? Are you sure about that? Please explain, because I'm all ears, because it looks that way to me. Yeah, you're talking about the border. Yeah, the border needed to be closed, but that was because Biden opened it. If Biden had it opened and followed Obama, who deported more people than Trump did, in Obama's term in office, over 3.1 million people were deported. How come you didn't follow that, Joe Biden? How come you didn't follow that, Democrats? How come it was okay to celebrate ICE at that particular time when when Obama was in office, and you had networks literally traveling with ICE to show you the marvelous work that they were doing, but suddenly Trump is doing it, and now it's a pariah, and ICE needs to go, and it needs to be completely banned. Why are sanctuary cities existing? I don't believe any of them have a chance of winning. We can go down the list. Gavin Newsom, here you are, and we saw what you just said, whether people believe it or not, or, because you got folks on the left trying to defend them, fine. Crime, homelessness, affordability, environment, debt in California, please. You got to convince me. Oh, so you want us to let you run the country, but we see what's happening in California. Good luck with that. Kamala Harris, that's where you come from. You didn't even want to run for the governor's seat in California. You should have been able to win that one. You didn't want that. Okay, we saw what happened during the election. You had 107 days. Biden put you at a disadvantage. That's all true. But Your interview on The View sealed your fate. When they asked you, is there anything that you would do differently than Biden? You're like, no, I can't think of anything. Nobody's letting that go. And back to Gavin Newsom. Everybody talked about, you need to move to the center to some degree. Look at it that way. What do? 2 weeks later, you're seen on TV talking about when it comes to transgenders, transitioning from male to female, even if they're children, you really have no problem with that, with them doing such a thing without parental consent. I've said this to numerous people who would listen. If my child is underage, you can't come to my child to tell my child to walk down the street to the store without my permission. How in God's name you think you can do something that serious without parental consent?
They used to not let them go to a PG-13 movie.
Are you kidding me? That is just utterly ridiculous. That kind of soundbite is going to be held against them. So I think that those two right there, they hurt themselves immensely. And I don't think the Democrats wanted Kamala Harris. And I think that that has a lot to do, as you saw her write in her book, she didn't feel like she was completely supported. So how you going to suddenly get the support for 2028 if you could have get into 2024? That ain't going to work. Pete Buttigieg, as I said on Real Time with Bill Maher, he doesn't move us.
Yeah.
He just doesn't move us. It's just that simple. All right. And then you have Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC. I respect her. I respect her passion. I respect what she tries to do for her constituency in the Bronx, New York. That clip of her in Munich was one of the most embarrassing videos we may have seen. You can't get around that, and the Republicans are going to have a field day playing that at every.
Les, I want to give you the first word. Again, like I said earlier, it is official. He is officially running for president. You can count on it as a Democrat. And I know people in the chat are saying he's a flip-flopper. No, he lets you know, hey, I am a Democrat. I support the Democrat Party. I only vote left. He said that a multitude of times. So we can stop saying that he's a fence rider. He is who he says he is. Celeste, what are your thoughts?
Yes, I think clearly you're exactly right. Clearly articulated. He's an independent who votes Democrat. That's all. You're registered as an independent, but all you do is vote Democrat. So you're exactly right. And it is really unfortunate because you could see how he completely doesn't understand the Democrat Party that he says he's a part of. And again, there's someone in the chat, I can't remember who said it, who said Democrats didn't push civil rights legislation. So why would you be going to them, asking them if they've done anything for us since the 60s? They didn't do anything for you then. They were trying to stop that then. Somebody, I wish Dave Rubin, if he had been on his P's and Q's and was not, if he had been on his P's and Q's, he could have absolutely come back and said that. We're back to Minister Danzell's point. You got to check these people right when they speak. So that was, exposed the fact you're a Democrat because you feel something for the Democrats, but you are not a Democrat because you know anything about Democrats, because every time Stephen A. Smith opens his mouth, he proves he doesn't know anything about the Democrat Party. He just feels something about them. And I suspect there are a lot of people who are like that. And when you ask them anything, like Minister Danzell says, they have no retort. They have no response because all they know is how they feel about being a Democrat, but they don't know anything about that party. And it is a shame. But I will say this, he's right on this. Anybody who's looking to 2028 at the moment, we have to hang our hat on Stephen A. He is the best thing they got. And I think he might be able to do some significant damage. We'll see in the primaries. What will be the test for him is you are adept at articulating everything wrong with the present day Democratic bench. He got that. He can do that. The question is when somebody asks him, how are you going to fix healthcare? When somebody asks him, what are you going to do about the position between Ukraine and Russia? When somebody else says, we got a communication from the mullahs in Iran, what should our next step be? That, I think, is where Stephen A. is going to come into some trouble. But he won't need all that for the primary. He can just keep doing the same shtick he's doing right now, and he might be able to get through those primaries. We'll see if they can come up with anybody else. I assume the Democrats are scowling every bottom of the pudding cup and that they can find to see if they can get somebody to put up that anybody will like. But right now, I think that Stephen A is what they got. We'll see if they can get anybody else, but right now he's it.
I agree. I think he has a legit chance, but the sisterhood is going to come for his head. I know I sent you guys the clip. What was it? We talked about this guy about 2 weeks ago. I sent you guys the clip. Jamel Hill jumped out there immediately and was like, hey, Stephen A, and she was going after him. So I would assume that Stephen Carrie Champion and Angela Rye and Tiffany Cross and all these other women that are a part of the quote unquote community, they're not going to make it easy for him. They're not going to make it easy for him, but I do agree. I think he has a legit chance. Minister Danzo, what are your thoughts?
Okay, now here's my problem. I think you, Celeste, you're spot on. Listen, he itemized all of the problems of the Democratic Party, and then he says, "I'm not rooting against you. I'm rooting for you."
Yeah.
Why? Why? He says, "AOC, she has my respect." Why? You see, he's got game. No question about that. He's got game. But he's so stupid when it comes to the basic things like that he may get a good ride in the Democratic Party, but I guarantee you they're coming after him with everything they got. They may do some digging. They may dig up some stuff on him because he's dangerous to them. He's talking too much truth. I give him about 85. He's talking a lot of truth, and he is definitely a threat to them. I'm just wondering at what point will he either come over to our side and stop playing or just tank, because you can't do both. You just can't do both. But he's speaking too much truth to stay on his side.
Well, this is a cash grab. When you run for office, especially, when you run for president, you're going to need to be able to, generate, probably about $1 billion or so in order to do it. And if you lose, we saw what happened with Kamala. A lot of that, hundreds of millions of dollars unaccounted for. Hundreds of millions of dollars unaccounted for. So he's looking at it, I think he's looking at it as a payday. Stephen A about his money.
Oh yeah,
he about his money. He'll let you know I'm about the money. So I think it's more of that than anything else. And he won't come on this side because he does work for Disney, and he just signed like $100 million contract with them that he just signed. He's still got another 4 years or so on that deal. So there's no way that he's going to come out and say that he is a conservative. There's absolutely no way that's going to happen.
True.
But Crystal, what are your thoughts?
I have my little notes here. Stephen A. Smith knows that he's a conservative. Let's just be real. Stephen A. Smith is really a conservative. But Stephen A. Smith is either a coward or a puppet. That's one of the two. And I say because
maybe a little both.
It was a bit of both, because he knows that what they're doing over there doesn't make sense. He doesn't agree with what they're doing. But then he has to tiptoe around because he's like, I respect what AOC is doing in her district. What is she doing? Her district still looks problematic. So to make that statement, you're just like, what? Wait, where did you get that? Like, how have you visited her district? Sir, what are you saying? But he's making it seem like, I respect what you. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. And so I think Stephen A. Smith, yes, I agree he's going to run. And I remember, I think I mentioned this to y'all before. I remember having a conversation. Oh, gosh, it was probably like 2008. And we were talking about how people will, why would someone spend all this money to become president and you only make like 300,000, however much money you make a year as the presidential salary. And the man that we were talking to, he was like, because you're set up for a lifetime after that. After you are president, you are set up for a lifetime. And so it would make sense, especially what everybody has said about Stephen A. Smith, why he would even entertain it. Because listen, if I get in, I would be set up for a lifetime. But as Celeste said, is your understanding of running the free world at that level? Do you understand what it takes? Because people made fun of Trump, but Trump understood. Trump has been all over the world, done business all over the world, has made connections all over the world. People laugh at him because his vocabulary, he doesn't use all the big vocabulary words that people love. And Trump is a straight shooter, and I love that about him.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to speak that kind of all that vernacular. He doesn't have to do all that. Absolutely not. But he knows the language of money and how the art of a deal. That's what he knows. So, and he understands as much as they didn't realize, he understands foreign policy. And another thing they didn't realize, Trump also understands the smartest businessman understands he doesn't know everything, and he puts people around him who can assist. So again, my question is, can Stephen A. Smith handle all of that? And the other thing is, when we look at what you said, the Black women, again, the Democratic Party has touted that Black women basically own the Democratic Party. They have touted that everywhere. So Black women have this complex. We own it. If we are the guard keepers of this, the gatekeepers. If we don't like you, you ain't going nowhere. And so, how much begging and pleading, how much 90s R&B down and bend the knees will Stephen A. Smith have to do to the Black women to be able to even be accepted into this position? He gonna have to do a lot. He better get them knee pads ready and be ready to go.
Please. Keep sweat begging.
They're not
James Brown.
So all I'm saying is, the thing is, when I look at the Democratic Party, I agree with what you're saying. They're so far. They have sold out. Yes, Americans. They have sold them out so much. The thing is, I look at it like this. To me, it should have been as simple as this in politics. You have the left and the right. I have ideas. You have ideas. We bring our ideas together and we figure out how to make America better. Make America better. But they have just thrown that all away. And it's like, look, this side, we're going to figure out how we're going to destroy America. This side, we're trying to hold on to it as best as we can. But over here, we're just going to keep destroying it. Stephen A. Smith needs to just go ahead and man up, grow some cojones, and join the conservative movement, because that's really who he is and what he wants to be about. That's how I feel.
He's an opportunist, though, and he understands that the bench on the right is extremely deep. He wouldn't get in the primary, more or less, make it through it on the right. But on the left, he's looking at it and he's saying, look at these people. I know I can beat at least 3 or 4 of y'all. Yeah. I know I can. That's how he's looking at this.
That's right.
And again, he's about that money. And if you can if you can just get through the primary,
even if you don't
get to the general, you're set for life. You got a big bag coming. Linda B, what are your thoughts?
Come on, Linda.
I just think about Stephen A. always complaining more about what the Democrats do than what Trump and the Republicans do. He spends all his time complaining about them, but he's still rooting for them at the same time.
There you go.
It's like, okay, which is it? Y'all are terrible, but then I root for you. And then if you look at the DEI that's going on the left of the Democrats, AOC, okay, come on, Kamala Harris, I can't think of nothing comes to mind. I mean, all of that going on. No wonder he wants to go on that side. Might have a chance. But think about it. Is he going to think about what the swamp wants, what the people in the background want, what they're pushing? He complained about everything that they're pushing. Yeah. So how are you going to get past that?
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Like you just said, you're not for the whole sex transition thing for children. You're not for men and women's sports. You're not for men and women's spaces. You always complain about the Democrats, the demon rats is what I call them. But yet you are for them and you're rooting for them. So you're rooting for the side that literally sat there and said, we're going to put illegals before American citizens. So that's the side that you're rooting for. So I need him to be more concise. If you just for the left, be for the left, but you spend all your time complaining about the left. So I'm like Crystal, grow a pair, man up. I know it's hard because, you turn into a beta male when you spend too much time on the left, but you need to grow a pair and just be who you are. You already said that you are fiscal conservative. He said that. And if he's about money and you're a fiscal conservative, then run as a conservative. But he's not going to do that. Like Deshaun said, he's got a contract with Disney, and he's thinking about his dollars. He'll complain about everything they do, but still wrap it up in a little tight bow. Well, I'm still for y'all though. Yeah. So he's kind of talking out of both sides of his mouth. But that's Stephen A. Smith, and I've come to expect that from him.
Absolutely. AT, we'll give you the last word on this, bro.
This is an interesting one. After you said this, I think it was last week, Wise, that you said Stephen A. Smith might be running for president. I actually talked to some of my family about it and my folks because I was so curious what they thought about this. And I'm still in the court of if/when he winds up running, because if he does, the timing is almost perfect for Stephen A. Smith. Yeah. You have Trump, who's going to be out of office and he's not going to be eligible to run again. We can talk about it, right? So there's going to be this vacuum that exists in the political arena. Individuals on the left, you can see it in your comment section, their only argument right now politically is Trump is awful, Trump is bad, he's done all these horrible things, he said these things, he did these things, I hate Trump, and you're done for liking Trump. That's not going to exist anymore. He's going to be gone. And then on the right, we don't like to talk about it, but there's individuals who are only voting Republican because of Trump. They identify as MAGA, not Republican. They focus on defending what he does, but not necessarily conservative values. So we're going to have a large amount of voters in this country who are going to be looking for the next thing. And you look at Stephen A. Smith, he kind of is almost similar to Trump in a sense where he wasn't a politician growing up. He was an entertainer. So people know who Stephen A. Smith is, just like everyone knew who Trump was before because of the towers and because you're fired. So he's going to have that coming into a primary against career politicians, the AOCs, and whoever else thinks they can actually run. And that's going to significantly help him. More so, listen to his rhetoric. He talks about things that are trying to shift the Democrat Party. Right now, the Democrat Party, I think most people will agree, it's emotional, it's hateful, it's focused on what is going to benefit me, what's going to make me feel empowered, like I'm helping people. Y'all know the white savior. And he sees that and realizes what do the actual facts say. You go on CNN right now, they're going to tell you that everyone who's Democratic supports LGBTQIA plus ideology, everyone who's Democratic supports racial ideology, everyone who's Democrat supports illegal immigration. But that's not exactly true. CNN just talked about how most Democrats actually agree with ID cards for voting. They talked about how most Democrats actually agree that trans ideology should not be impacting sports. And so he's trying to target those individuals that are still out there but have been quieted by their own side. I'll tell you the truth. I would not be surprised if he wins the primary. He has no one who can actually compete against him, and those debates are going to be fire because that's what Stephen A. Smith does. But to Linda's point, you got to stop putting me after. To Linda's point, whenever he goes up and has to actually talk about what it is you're going to do, then we're going to see how he dances. Because Wise, you made a great point. I'm sorry, my camera's not working. I'll fix it in a second. Wise, you made a great point. He's owned by Disney. Most of his platforms, besides his podcast, in one way, shape, or form, to include his network appearances, are by Disney. And you know who does love having trans ideology in sports? Disney. You know who does dislike ID cards for voting? Disney. You know who does like to focus specifically on your skin color? Disney. And I'm curious to see how that messaging is going to change. Disney has made it clear they ain't walking away from this. It's in their board meeting minutes. You can look it up. They love putting this stuff in front of children. Stephen A. Smith has been saying he doesn't want to. And eventually, to y'all's point, and I'll land here, a lot of people don't like what Stephen A. has said. He came out against, what was it, Jasmine Crockett, I think, in the past. And less than a week later, Stephen A. Smith was ringing the doorbell with fresh cupcakes and an apology letter in his hand. I don't think that's going to really help him when he has to make some really hard decisions. Because at the end of the day, especially amongst, I'm going to say this is a little bit biased, but this is what I've noticed. The liberal voting populace in the United States of America does not want to hear your rationale. They don't want to hear how this is going to be better in 10 years. They don't want to hear how we can be equal truthfully, which requires you to work. They want to hear you're special, you're unique. There's no one in the world like you. There's no one in the world better than you. And you're going to have that mentality no matter where you go for the rest of your life. And he's going to have to figure out how to navigate that. I don't think he's ready, but I think he does have one heck of a position if he tries to do it.
Stephen don't like you either. He hacked your camera.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think, and I agree with you, AT. I think he has a legit chance in the primary because you got to understand, Democrats, they don't care about policy. They care about feelings and vibes. If he can come up with a good slogan and, and the people are like, man, I can feel this guy. And they can feel like, oh, this is a good vibe here. That's all you need to get through the primary.
Yep.
That's not going to get you through the general though.
Yep.
But it will get you through the primary.
Good point.
Read a couple super chats and we'll keep it moving. Shout out to Sensen with the $5 super chat. Says, I truly believe you cannot be a Democrat and call yourself a Christian. It's not possible if you're in a group that unalives babies. Yeah, I agree with that. Shout out to LS. He says, hell of a choice Dems have for 2028. He says, Scamala, Gruesome Newsom, who, by the way, can't read apparently, and Pete Buttigieg, and Stephen A. Simp. Hey, yeah, that bench over there is something else, man. Shout out to Deb. She says, independent Democrat logic, 1 + 1 = 11. Shout out to Annie. He says he's a coward, puppet, and stupid. I'll give you the first two. I don't think he's stupid. I'll give you the first two. And shout out to Gallivant Works with the $10 super chat. Says Stephen A's problem is the same issue for other moderate celebs. He knows conservatives are reasonable and tolerant enough to keep supporting him, while libs cannibalize their own for the bare minimum. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right there. Great point. Great point. Let's keep it moving. Is that right? Yeah, we're keeping it moving. All right, perfect. So I want to play this video here because, Crystal, I know you talked about, the sisterhood, on the Democrat side of things, but you are starting to see an uptick of Black women, Black American women, showcase their disdain for the Democrat Party.
It's happening,
and I don't know if the 92% is still the 92%. I think the 92% is probably 85%. We say 85% at this point. That's my thoughts. I want to play this clip for you guys. It might be on the lengthier side of things, but let's get into it.
Martha,
Hey, Savannah.
did you hear what happened?
What am, child?
Say we got somebody else that's gonna be on our side.
I do declare.
He got a strong name, powerful name. His name Gavin Newsom. That's right. He was talking to a bunch of niggers the other day, and he said he just like us. He can't read nor write either. That's what he said. And if he gets in there, we might have somebody that can do more things for us.
We might get us a big house. If you what you say is. Now, is it that good for you?
Don't you talk like that.
Oh, family.
Overseer Obama might hear you. And he's don't want us to have the things that the rest of the overseers have. If you go around there and tell Big Massa what he heard you say, then, if they don't like what you say, they got a way of making sure don't nobody hear you no more.
I knows it.
You got to be careful. Now, Martha, you get on away from around here with that kind of foolish talk. Now, go on, now get. I loves you here, but you just can't say stuff like that. Not around here. Come on around the back later after the sun and set all the way, and we can talk more about it.
All right. Loves you, damn.
I love you here. All right, child. Yes, indeed. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land. Tell old Pharaoh, let my peoples go.
I believe for the rest of my life, I'll be doing the Lord's work. I'm going to make sure no Black person is a Democrat ever again. I hope you got enough common sense and critical thinking to understand what's going on right now. I'm about to give you all the facts. Every day I think I'm going to come on here and tell you what these clowns have done to you. Can you just notice that they never got a solution for you and they always calling you a victim? That's number one. You always need Medicaid. You always need food stamps. You always need government assistance. Why? Why you can't need a job? Why you can't need an education? Why you can't need a better job? Why you can't need a house? Why you can't need a better car? Why you can't need better things than government assistance? Lyndon Johnson said he gonna have these niggas voting for Democrats for the next 200 years because that's how goofy you is. They filibustered the Civil Rights Act. It was the last record they had in Congress. They took men out of your homes. They would rather them be homosexual than to be a man in a home raising a family. Do y'all not see this? They claim to be Christians, but do everything against God. Are y'all Christians? I do not understand what's happening. Do you believe God's word or do you make it fit to your lifestyle? I do not understand what's going on. Was the dashikis not enough? When they walk their ass out there with dashikis on and your ass ain't never been to Africa. But they thought the dashiki was unity for you. They play in your face. They play in your face and you let them do it. You let them work up your emotions. You let them build fear. What happened to us being slaves now? We supposed to be slaves 6 months into the Trump presidency and all locked up in concentration camps.
Be the party of the poor. In order to do that, they must keep you poor. If you want your welfare, your public housing, your food stamps, I am not talking to you. You are perfectly fit to be a Democrat, and a Democrat Party can have you. If you want the village to raise your child from preschool to prison, you are perfectly fit to be a Democrat. If white microaggressions keep you up at night tweeting with Sean King and Rachel Dolezal, you're just an idiot. Please don't vote.
Listen, folks, this is serious. I was just at the gym thinking we cannot let these Democrats regain power in the midterms. Okay, this is an all hands on deck call to action. We cannot. We need everyone to get out and vote. Again, make it too big for them to rig. We already see they trying to get their illegal voters with no voter ID. They're trying to steal. Because once they regain power, if they get it in the midterms, they're going to try to make life hard for everyone that voted for President Trump. And I got a feeling they're going to do this. I mean, they're putting all their videos out now. They're already talking that noise, talking about what they're going to do. I made a video earlier where I saw a lady saying that if they win the midterms, they're going to go door to door, asking if people voted for Trump, saying that there's going to be consequences like, jail time, they're going to be persecuted. We cannot allow them to get back. Now listen, I ain't scared of nobody because Jesus is king and he controls everything all the way down to the ants. So humans ain't no problem for me. But this is how our nation is governed. We cannot have these maniacs in office.
I'm loving it. Loving it.
I loved it. I loved it, especially the first clip and the second clip. But Minister Danzel, we'll give you the first word. What are your thoughts, bro?
Hey, listen, I'm just saying that I gotta disagree with you. I think it's more than maybe down to 70%. There's a whole lot more sisters out there who are coming to their senses. They may not all be as vocal as those sisters were, but I think a lot of people are seeing it. You just can't, like I said before, you can't look at crazy and not recognize it. You have to be crazy yourself to look at crazy and not be able to recognize it. So a lot of them are silent. Sometimes people are pressured into pretending like they're for the Democrats when they're really not. Because remember, when you're in that environment, they pressure you and they'll attack you. So some people just don't want to be dealing with it with the stress. They just to avoid the stress, they pretend. And I'm cool with that for now. I mean, the bottom line is that a lot more of them are coming to our side than maybe is visibly visible. But I thank God for those kind of clips. I think we need to see a whole lot more of those. We need to publicize a lot more of those, because when sisters see other sisters come out like that, then they'll be emboldened to come out. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for to see them marches down the street, the sisters, that coming out down the street saying, listen, we're no longer going to hide it. We know what's going on. We are tired of playing the game. We coming out.
Absolutely. Linda B, get in there.
Yeah, I feel like we need to organize something. Crystal, Celeste, I don't know what we need to do. We need to be vocal. We need to get a group together. We need to educate the other women. I don't know if we go to the colleges. I don't know. We need to do something, because just like that, one of those sisters said, we cannot let these people get back in power, because they have shown us that they are literally crazy. And I would say demon possessed. In order to go along with this stuff and to promote it and to push it off on children, it is sick. President Trump at one time during the State of the Union address, he said, these people are crazy. And at one point, I did not like Trump, but then I came to find out, God told me everything they were accusing him of, he's not guilty of. I know somebody going to be mad about some liberal going to just fall out. But I just feel like we need to do more. You know, they're marching out in the streets. They're doing the things that should not be done, but we need to show a better way. We need to educate people with the receipts. You know, go to places, do panels, do like a discussion roundtable, whatever it is. I feel like we definitely need to get started on that like right now. Make sure it's done in the best possible way. And I'm loving it. I often highlight Black people who are conservative, who know what's going on, and they just woke up, you know, by the grace of God, woke up. And we need to do it. We need to do it because the devil is loud, but like I always say, we need to be louder. Okay, we need to just let everybody know the truth, because right now we got a bunch of, like Wise said, you know, the Democrats don't run on policy, they run on a feeling, you know, like a hope and a change, and you know, all this. I am somebody. I am, you know, they run on
Hope alive.
Stuff like that, and it does not have any substance to it. You know, it doesn't really produce anything good. It just gets you hype. And at the end of the day, hype is not going to do anything. We got to really educate people and teach them what is really going on. And look, historically, they have destroyed, I mean, everything the Democrats touch. And I don't have to tell you guys this, but maybe somebody new who watching. The Democrats have done a job on all Americans, but they started with Black Americans. It's like any pig group. If it work on them, then we'll extend it to everybody else. And I think that's just disgusting. And they just, you know, they get me all riled up in righteous anger. But anyway, I'm gonna let somebody else speak.
Crystal, get in there.
Wow.
I love my sisters that are coming out boldly proclaiming, because there's no mountain that God will not move. He will flatten every mountain, and he will flatten that Democratic mountain, that liberal ideology, that woke ideology, because he has already shown so many of us that ideology is an ideology that is spawned out of Satan. Let's just be real. That is where it is. And I know a lot of people are like, so are you trying to say Republicans? No. That platform, as my brother AT has always said, go pull up the platform, then pull up and then grab your Bible and go through and look at them and see, does the Lord agree with this? Because you're starting to look more like the Philistines, you're starting to look more like the Moabites, you're starting to look more like the Amalekites and all those of you. Do not look like God's children. But I agree with my sister Linda B. And maybe Linda B, Celeste, a bunch of us can just go on a whole tour through the city, just start educating people. Because listen, I still have people who will come in on the Lord's internet into my comments after the Democrats sat down and said they do not stand for Americans, and they still defend them. And you're just looking like you're going to keep defending them. Then they'll say, then I'll say, okay, so how's your city doing? Well, no, things aren't looking good, but it's Trump's fault. Trump ain't running your city. That's them blue people that you have sitting running your city. You want to blame Trump for your city's mess? Listen, y'all have to find somebody else to blame. Y'all have to find someone else to look to, because at this point in time, y'all better realize that party wants. And I will give a pass to John Fetterman, because John Fetterman, at least there's some common sense where he rolls. But they want you poor. They want you to be slaves. They want you to be so dumb that you can't think for yourself. They only want you to do what they tell you to do. They want you to live on vibes and feelings, and I don't know, but I know no. They want you to live on those type of feelings. They want you to yes, we can. They want you to keep hope alive. Y'all know they have a slogan.
And don't ask any questions. Don't ask us any questions now.
Don't ask questions. Don't you don't even see my platform. What was it? Peace through, what was her thing? Joy through peace through joy. Peace through joy, or whatever was Kamala. All they have is these funky, weird sayings. No kind of true agenda to help America, because like my sister Celeste, which I agree with her, I have always said that they have an agenda. They have their marching orders from the puppeteers that are pulling their strings and telling them what to do, but they're not going to tell you that. When you ask them, what are you going to do? They'll tell you Orange Man is bad. They'll tell you Trump is bad. They'll tell you he's a fascist. He's a dictator. They won't tell you, okay, but what are you going to do with the situation that we have going on currently here in our city? It's Trump's fault. At this point in time, I wish people would wake up and realize, okay, I got to come out of that stupor. And I'm so thankful for all the different ladies. I saw even earlier this week, Wise, you had on the other girl that I like. She was saying that y'all can't be blaming Trump for y'all wanting to be baby mamas and baby daddies and all those. And I was just like, keep speaking the truth, ladies. Ladies, keep speaking the truth and have no fear. And that is the one point I want to get across. Have no fear. Because at the end of the day, the only thing the left has is bullying tactics. Bullying tactics. They like to call you names. They like to do these things to try and bully you back into alignment. Listen, I have always been hard-headed and stubborn. Ask my parents. Ain't nobody bullying me to do nothing. If I made up my mind, that is what it's going to be. And worse yet, when the Lord tells me to do something, you ain't bullying me out of nothing, because God is over all of y'all. So that is how I feel, ladies. Keep sprinkling the truth, ladies. Come on, black ladies. Yes.
Hey, wives, can I say this also, that they're experts at the slogans, but they're also experts at optics, and they went against their optics tactic in order to hold on to their illegal immigration agenda. So they were willing to forego their desperate optics. They always liked the optics. They didn't care how they looked. They were so dedicated to promoting their illegal alien agenda that they were willing to let America know right up front that, listen, you're second class when it comes to illegal aliens. That says something about these people, man. They are not rational.
Absolutely. AT?
I'm trying to debate on which direction I want to go, because I can go pretty hard on this one. First, I want to say thank you to Brother Wise for not having a video designed to trigger me on today's show. Thank you. It's a
He
first.
Did owe you, right?
Hey, you know what? I think what happened on Sunday, he was like, is this what this feels?
It's not over with yet.
Don't. Hey, I'm gonna put some faith out there. You're not gonna do that to me today. I want to say the second lady, she had a line I'm gonna take with me probably for the rest of my life. Start asking this to individuals who say that they're liberal and that they are Christian. Do you believe God's word, or do you make it fit your lifestyle? But the direction I wanted to go with this one, I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. We can't be hypocrites, as conservatives, as believers, as Christians, whatever bucket you fall under, because objectively, we've been asleep at the wheel for the last few decades. We have seen liberalism spread throughout the United States. It has been celebrated. It's impacted media now. It's on entertainment. It is allowed to be talked about without any consequences. And yet, if you talk from a Christian or a conservative standpoint, you will get attacked. We have gotten to this reality because we like the emotions ourselves. We make fun of liberals for getting emotional, for getting dramatic, because that's what they do. It's their calling card. But we have to make sure we're not just getting hyped during conversations like this. We have to make sure we're not just getting hyped during a State of the Union address. At the end of the day, the reality still is that most Christians don't serve, most Christians don't give, most conservatives don't vote, and most conservatives don't campaign for individuals they know that they're running towards. And we can keep looking at Stephen A. Smith for the presidential run. This year, we have a very important midterm election, and I encourage every single individual in this comment section, ask yourself, are you about that life or are you not? Is Wise in the morning just entertainment? Good entertainment. Please continue to follow, subscribe, super chats, and the rest. But is he just entertainment? Or is he waking you up to want to take action? Because if you're not subscribed to Wise, if you haven't gone to Probe Analysis and you're a believer trying to learn more about the world around you, if you're someone who wants to see conservative values come back to this country and you haven't gone to crystalbaptisteforcongress.com, if you're trying to educate yourself and you get hyped whenever Celeste comes up here, ask me anything, and you're like, yes, I love these answers, but you haven't gotten the book. And if you're like, you know what, Linda B, I love Linda B. She's so pretty. She's got the pink on, got the nice background. I love Linda B. I see y'all celebrating over here. By the time this live is over with, if she ain't got those 25 out of the hundreds of people who are in here votes, and if you are a Christian who has said you are tired of the world around you and you ain't gone to the Garden Project, I am calling you out for your hypocrisy. Less than 50% of the country voted in the last midterm elections. Take the 30 minutes after this live is over with, go to old Sergeant Major Google and find out who your House representative is, who your Senate representative is, who your mayor is, who your governor is, who's up for election, and ask yourself, am I doing enough? Or am I just hitting a like button, celebrating in the comment section, and the second this is done, I'm going to go about to my life until Tuesday morning at 9:30 again when the righteous perspective is on so I can feel good about myself. Let's stop pointing the fingers and let's start taking action. Now is the time to do it.
Speak, brother. Speak.
Absolutely. That was a mic drop. I don't know how you're gonna follow that one, Celeste. Goodness gracious. You dropped the mic on that one, but I'll give you the last word on this.
He's complaining about having to go after Linda B. Now I'm complaining about having to go after AP. I know what's going on in here today. Well, I'll say this, Linda B. You issued a invitation, and whenever the Lord's people are asking me for something, I try in my heart to say yes. So I'm going to say maybe with a caveat. I'll go into these spaces with you, but I'm gonna need Minister Denzel to walk in front, the Holy Ghost right at the north, and I'm gonna need AT and Wise to pick up the side and the rear because they're military men, so they're gonna know how to.
We'll have some security.
We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to, because let me tell you something. When emotions run amok, it turns into violence. If you look at these protests that they had out in Minnesota and that they've had, through the last couple of years, it's a lot of women who are out here literally putting their bodies on the line to fulfill their emotionalism. There's some crazies out here, but I will say, I do think you're right, Wise. I do think that we are seeing a little balance, and I believe we're seeing what existed but is now coming to the front. If you remember, after the 2024 election, they showed that map, and they had showed that every county in the country got redder. So whatever they were before, they were redder after the 2024 election. And to my knowledge, that has not stopped. That has not stopped. So we are ripe. This is our moment in times to be able to go and speak to people, and particularly for those sisters in the clips that you showed that are coming online. Minister Denzel is 100% right. It makes it more acceptable when they see people that have a similar experience and that are like them saying, no, this is why I'm making the decision that I make. It makes it much easier for those folks to do that. However, the hardcore leftists, those folks are going to be angry because, see, what they're seeing is they're seeing that the tropes that they have been able to exist on, particularly in the Black community, are going away if Black people start to say, well, no, I don't think like that, and I don't believe like that. Like, you can call Trump a racist all day if everybody Black agrees with you. But if half Black people say, no, he's not. No, you got that wrong. No, he's not. All of a sudden, it becomes much more difficult to do that. So all of their victimization tropes, their race tropes, all of these things that have allowed them to hide behind the fact that they have not taken responsibility for their own destiny, and their lives are largely in part their own fault. This has been the mask. And they're relying on having these tropes so that they never have to confront themselves and they ever have to do any better than what, ever have to be any better than who you are today, as long as these tropes live. And this is what I've been saying has been the silent, duplicitous agreement between Blacks and Democrats. This is the secret relationship between Blacks and Democrats. Democrats have an offer for Blacks, and what they say is, hey, listen, you don't ever have to be better than who you are today, and you don't ever have to be responsible to your own destiny, and you don't ever have to fulfill the mission that God has designed in you. Don't worry about it. We got it, and we got a cover for you. What we're going to tell everyone is you couldn't do it because of racism, And you couldn't do it because of Jim Crow, and you couldn't do it because of redlining, and you couldn't do it because of slavery. We got all the reasons lined up, and nobody will question it because these are taboo issues everyone's afraid of. So Black people have been sitting back last 50, 80 years going, hey, we don't have to do anything. And we also get the virtue of looking like we would have if it wasn't for all of this. That's the secret relationship. And let me tell you, if that relationship ends, if enough Black people wake up and lead and start saying, oh no, you can do it because I am. Oh, no, you can do it because Crystal is. Oh no, she's out there doing it. When all of a sudden those excuses begin to fail, who is left holding the bag? The Blacks that don't want to be better than who they are, and the Democrats who have been using that lie to fund their power.
You're absolutely right. And the sister, I want to say, like in the middle of the clip, and she kind of went down like, yeah, if you want the Section 8 and all of that, yeah, you stay on right where you are. You are a Democrat, because that's exactly what they're looking for. Go ahead, Linda.
I can want to add to that. What people need to realize, it's in history. You've got a bunch of Black Wall Streets in different states, not just in Oklahoma. This was before affirmative action, DEI, or civil rights, or anything like that. These people were entrepreneurial, married. At one time, Black women was the most married group of women. Our families were intact. We were a very religious people. See, what we messed up in is we turned from God to government and looked to government for our substance. And we got our hands out like this. And see, we need to know our history. Black folks always, I'm talking about the liberal, lefty ones. Black folks always talking about, we want to know our history. We want to know our history. But you don't know about Black Wall Street. You want to act like you can't do anything. And that was during Jim Crow, by the way.
Right.
More than 600 businesses own their own airplane, banks, every business imaginable.
Yeah.
And yet we not supposed to be able to do that. And I just want to point out one other little thing, and I'm sorry, I'm going to shut up after this. There was, this whole thing with President Trump wanting to take some things out of the Smithsonian, the African-American part, and some other minority parts. The left pushed it as he's taking away our history. No, what the left put in the African-American part of the Smithsonian was, it said hard work, individualism, and the nuclear family is white culture. They literally had that in the African-American part of the Smithsonian. Can you believe the outright evil in that?
Come on.
And President Trump was like, we want our history to be more unifying and less divisive.
That's right.
Okay, if you're going to focus on, we had slavery, can you also focus on the fact that we don't have it anymore? Can you do that part? Can you talk about 600,000 people's lives that they laid their lives down?
That's right.
To end it. But no, we want to focus on that it was just slavery. People who focus like that, they are in fact still in slavery. If they're still thinking like that. I just had to get that off my chest.
God bless you.
In me to get that out.
Can I add on to that? Because Linda made a great point. I'll be very quick, I promise you. Do you want to be a unified United States of America or not? Because if you want to actually be unified, that means that you got to let go of some of the things that you weren't even alive for in the first place, right? You have to focus on the fact that your next door neighbor may not look like you, but he's still an American. And if you can come to that, then maybe we'll be okay as a country. But so long as it is us versus them, continue voting Democrat.
Amen.
Amen to that. All right, a couple super chats and we're going to keep it moving. He hate me with the $2 super sticker. Appreciate the support. Thank you very much. Darnice coming through with the $2 super sticker as well. Thank you very much. Shout out to, is that Lamar coming through, $20 super sticker. Appreciate the support. Thank you to Mark coming through with the $5 super chat. Says, I can't stay long, but it is truly an honor to connect with what you are doing on this team, Brother Wise. Top-notch crew for all races you represent. Thank you, man. Appreciate you, brother. Shout out to Speak Your Voice First, coming through with the $2 super chat. Says, serve Christ, not party. Support righteous policies. Absolutely. Amen. Absolutely. Shout out to Darnice joining the ARP family. Appreciate your support and what we're doing over here. Thank you very much, sister. Oh, I did that one already. All right. And last one. Shout out to Game Animal. $10 super chat. Says, Linda B, I have voted for your film. AT is 100%. yes. Let me know when you all are arranging for the prayer and the tour. I am fully on board here in Boston, Massachusetts. I am excited for things of Almighty God. Absolutely. Shout out to you, man. Thank you very much. All righty. We got to get into this because this thing is going viral on TikTok. So there's this brother who on Valentine's Day a couple of weeks back decided that he was going to take his wife out to what he considers a nice restaurant. And he was actually, before we go there, my bad, I'm getting ahead of myself. We got to get into Gutter Bunny of the Week real quick. Man, shout out to you guys for coming through. I know we put the post out late, but we had 1,700 people vote for Gutter Bunny of the Week. Holy smokes, man. That is awesome. So before we get to the next segment, let's go Gutter Bunny of the Week.
The Bunny of the Week. Yeah. We bring the heat. Hey, hey. Hope it jumping out their feet. Hey, hey. It's Gutter Bunny of the Week. Hey, hey. Gutter Bunny of the Week.
Oh, ARP family. I love y'all because listen, I know we've been making it really tough when it comes to Gutter Bunny of the Week. And y'all, it is not our fault. It definitely is not our fault. Blame it on the people that are there. And they seem to want to act up all during the same week. So let us get into the people that are up for Gutter Bunny of the Week. So in last place comes Ms. Hillary Clinton and her freak out episode regarding the Epstein oversight hearing. Now, Lauren Boebert sent a picture to Benny Johnson and said to go ahead and post it. He had permission to post it so that people can see that, yes, we are making sure that she comes in and does her part and testifies. And the immediate freak out was ridiculous. It was so unnecessary. It was so dramatic and extra. And we all know why. We know why. Because the Jezebel that sits inside of Hillary Clinton is trying to distract. Because she knows that everyone has seen the pictures. We've all seen the pictures. I mean, ma'am. We've seen Ghislaine at your daughter's wedding. We've seen your husband sitting in the hot tub with a woman. We've seen your husband wearing the silk matching shirts with Jeffrey Epstein. Sir, man, listen, the whole thing is done. They need to stop trying to hide behind it. Just go ahead and be honest. We all know what y'all are up to. Just be honest with the people and not bow gracefully because there's no grace. Just bow out. That's how I feel. Just bow out. We're done. Next, we had Abigail Spanberger. Abigail Spanberger was hilarious. I don't know, and she falls into the Democratic Party situation for the State of the Union because I don't understand why the Democratic Party decided to make her the response to the State of the Union. When she got up on the stage and got on the Lord's internet and media and had the audacity to say, Trump is supposed to be making it affordable for the American people. But is he doing that? No. Ma'am, do you think that we all don't know what you did to the people in Virginia that you just got there? I'm talking about the 50 plus taxes that you threw on the Virginians saying that this is what you're going to do. A alleged dog walking tax, an Uber Eats tax. Ma'am, do better. You have the audacity to get on the stage and make that statement when we're seeing all the progress under Donald John Quavius Trump. We've seen it. We're not dumb. We're not blind. And we're not going to keep falling for your foolishness. So the fact that they put you up on that stage, listen, Scamberger, because that's my new name for you. Your name is Abigail Scamberger. Ma'am, you just embarrassed yourself, and I'm so sorry for you. Next, we have Gavin Newsom. Listen, people. When Gavin Newsom sat on the stage here in Atlanta and had the audacity to say that he is just like Black Americans and he can't read and he had a 960 SAT score, I need all of Black America to understand that was not a compliment. I need y'all to understand that. For some weird reason, y'all seem to think that he's just like us. He's not like us. I didn't make a 960 on my SAT score. So I don't know why y'all sitting down there cheering for that. And your girl can read. I definitely can read. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I definitely know I can read. Listen, in fact, maybe y'all should go pick up Celeste's book and learn to read if y'all agree with his craziness. Okay? So that is why Gavin Newsom comes in second place. And drum roll, please. We have the Dems State of the Union episode. The State of the Union, the swamp, the State of the Swamp, and the People's State of the Union. Let me tell y'all my issues with all of that. We had Rashida Tlaib when the hockey players, the U.S. hockey players came out and were being celebrated for bringing gold back to America. She got caught on camera yelling, instead of saying USA with everybody else, she got caught yelling Triple K. Yet this is who y'all have voted and put into office. That is how she sees the American people. You had Ilhan Omar yelling like a crazy banshee from the galley, yelling about how Trump took the lives of American citizens. Yet for some weird reason, she has nothing to say about all the American lives that have been lost at the hands of illegal, I made that really loud for y'all because for some reason y'all don't understand that part, illegal criminal immigrants. Okay? She had nothing to say regarding Jocelyn. She had nothing to say regarding Larisha. She had nothing to say about any of these Rachel Moore. She had nothing to say about them. But she has a lot to say about these two people who, might I add, put themselves in danger and put themselves in the way, and that is how their lives were lost. So don't come here with that. Joy Reid and that pathetic people State of the Union, that was trash. Y'all could have just scrapped that and gone inside because y'all look ridiculous. That whole entire thing, it was sad. And that other one, I think it was in Oregon, the Swamp State of the Union. I have a verse for y'all, because if you remember, they had people there. They had people in giraffe costumes, and then they had a group of frogs. Does everybody remember the group of frogs they had there? In Revelation chapter 16, verse 13 to 14 says, "And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. For they are the spirits of devils, working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world." Listen, if you don't know by now that liberal party, that Democratic Liberal Party they got going on over there is pure evil. If you even took a glimpse of what was happening in that state of the swamp, you would know that has nothing to do with God. And that just showed pure and utter evil. And this is why I will say over and over again, do not come in my comments and tell me that you are a Christian Democrat. That does not exist. Do not come in my comments and say you're a liberal Christian. That is not even a real thing. That doesn't exist. I had to learn that as someone who used to vote and stand with the Democrats. And it wasn't until the Lord took a hold of me and opened my eyes and I realized I have been voting and standing against you, God. I am so sorry. And understand it is not too late, because you still have breath in your lungs to repent and start making the correct decisions. As my sister Speaker Voice first put in the comments, stop focusing on party and start supporting righteous policies. That is what I have for y'all this week for Gutter Bunny of the Week. I hope y'all appreciate it. I see so many people voted for the Dems at the State of the Union. We hope that they never do that again. And just as a reminder, remember when Trump asked them, because I've said to y'all so many times, the first job of the government is to protect the citizens. The Dems told y'all how they feel. They are never protecting the American citizens. And that should make sure that every one of you never vote for them again. Thank you again. Later.
The bunny of the week. Yeah. We bring the heat. Hey, hey. Hope it it jumping out their feet. Hey, hey, it's Gutter Bunny of the week. Hey, hey, Gutter Bunny of the week.
All right, now. I know you can't listen to that without bouncing a little bit, right? Shout out to Deb coming through with the $10 super chat. Says, FYI, dozens of people in chat or in the chat, Crystal, Celeste, Linda, AT, Minister Danzel, for a group to be started to go forth and create the 4 winds of change, north, south, east, and west, speaking truth in facts to the public. All right now, Deb. All right now, Deb. Thank you, Steve, coming through with the $2 super chat. Says, God bless you. God bless you as well. Thank you very much. And shout out to Mark. I thought you wasn't gonna hang around. I thought you was coming in and dipping out. Shout out to you, Mark, with the $5 super chat. Says, Linda B, great writing on Liz Town. A close friend of mine shares your initials, Mayor. I can't say her name, but it's LB from The Sopranos. Okay. All right. And Mark again coming through with the $2 super chat and great acting. Mayor, I ran out of space to type. Okay.
Oh.
Shout out to you, Mark. Shout out to you, Mark. Shout out to Sin with the $5 super chat. Says, AT, I'm voting. I thought she said vomiting. I can't see. I'm voting midterms. Even if I gotta get a Somali Uber, I ain't missing getting my votes in for nothing.
Hey, y'all be like C.
Oh my gosh. Come on now, Sin.
I love it.
Shout out to Marla with the $5 super chat. Says, I'm a subscriber. Why can't I chat? You can. I'm not sure. Maybe some technical difficulties on your side, maybe. Shout out to Roxanne. Thank you very much. Appreciate the support. Thank you for joining the ARP family. Appreciate you. And shout out to Cindy coming through with the $10 super sticker. All righty.
Amen.
Let's keep it moving. Oh, let me pull that down real quick. There we go. All right, let's keep it moving. So, like I was saying earlier, this brother right here, he is definitely tired of the hood booger behavior. And he just wanted to go out and just enjoy a nice dinner with his girl or his wife. I think it was his wife. And he was dismayed at what he saw out at the restaurant. I want to play this for you. It is a little lengthy. And there might be a little bit of language. So AT, this might be the one that triggers you.
Valentine's Day weekend, my wife and I, we was at Ruth Chris, right? We went to Ruth Chris. That was our first time, and I did a video on it, and like we were just like grateful to be there because last year around this time we couldn't afford to be there. We couldn't afford much of anything, so we just did a video. Like I was just so grateful, right? But there's one thing that I do have to talk about. I don't know what it is with us, and I hope you understand what I mean when I say us. I don't know what it is with us. Like we feel like we have to bring this like street energy everywhere we go. Like, why am I sitting down with my wife at Ruth Chris, cutting into this nice ribeye, and I see dudes walking by with their pants sagging, with their jeans sagging, with these bubble coats with their hoods on? Like, yo, we gotta stop. Like, we gotta stop. And I know, listen, some of y'all are gonna be like, oh, you was just thanking God for this, now you judging. Listen, I'm not judging. I'm not judging them, and I'm not trying to be cynical. But we have to, like, yo, we gotta understand, like, yo, there's a time and place for every. First of all, like, we have to understand that how the world reads us is a reality. Like, yo, the way you present yourself is how the world reads you. We already are fighting an uphill battle at times. And I understand there's a lot of systematic things, but like, why are you, like, we gotta do better. Like, at Ruth Chris, this is supposed to be an establishment that, you know what kind of establishment you go. See, that's the thing, like, you know you're not going to no Applebee's. You know you're not going to Chili's. You know you're not going to Texas Roadhouse. You know you're not going to, you know what I'm saying? And there's nothing against those places. I'll eat at all those places. I'm not too bougie for none of them places. But like, you know you're not going there. Why are you bringing this like energy? Why are you bringing this like attire that, come on, jeans sagging? You can't, you eating at Ruth Chris, you can go buy a belt. I hate that for us. I hate that we do that. Like, us men, we got to do better as men. Like, go get yourself a pair of slacks. Go get yourself, you know what I'm saying, a belt. Go get yourself, you know what I'm saying, a nice collar shirt, a sweater, a coat, something, a blazers. Like, come on.
Agree with what this young man is saying. I think as a society, we have lost a lot in regards to the way we present ourselves in public, not just in restaurants. If you recognize my face or if you follow me on this app, you know that the majority of my content revolves around restaurants, and not just dining itself, but around etiquette, around the psychology or the sociology of customer behavior in restaurants. I've always thought this topic was an interesting one, but also a sticky one. You can say that it's important to dress for your surroundings, and people will take that to mean that you're saying that you need to be wearing a 3-piece suit and a prom gown when you go out to the steakhouse, and that is simply not true. People will often call it classist. They'll say, you telling people that they should be adhering to certain types of attire is classist. What if they can't afford it? I don't think that suggesting people dress a certain way when they're in certain establishments is classist at all. If anything, I think that argument is classist, because you're simply saying that people who aren't operating within a certain income bracket don't have the ability to make themselves presentable, and that is also not true. And what I've always thought is the most important piece here is that it's not about you. When people are saying, when this young man is saying, nobody wants to see your ass hanging out of your sagging jeans at the restaurant, regardless of whatever type of restaurant it is, okay? What they're saying is that the way that you present yourself isn't just about you. It's about how it impacts other people.
Who is we looking good for, the filet? If I'm with somebody, they think I'm cute and I think they cute, then that's all that matters. You want me to get dressed because somebody like you might be in the building. You just said over a year ago you couldn't afford Ruth Chris, and instead of focusing on your tender ass ribeye, you worried about the bubble coat that somebody else got on. I want you to wake up and think about how dumb that sounds, and then you posted it on the internet. Some of y'all crave acceptance from white people. Some of y'all long internally for a white to look at y'all and be like, that is just such a good nigga. I'm choking.
I think it's very loser coded to get on here and tell everyone how pressed you were about somebody else's outfit at a restaurant, where at no point in your video did you say that the restaurant owner was just as pressed as you that they asked that young man to leave. I think it's very buffoon coded that the rest of y'all are getting on this internet for the free, mind you, and co-signing what that man's saying and saying that, like, yeah, there should be a dress code. Mind you, do you see Ruth Chris' social media account anywhere underneath any of you guys' videos saying, yeah, thank you, because it's almost like Ruth Chris doesn't give a fuck. It's almost like Ruth Chris is only concerned with their bottom line. Right? The only thing Ruth Chris was concerned with was whether that man had the $1,200 it was going to cost him for him to eat that goddamn steak, right? That don't even give you a dance. It don't give you a show. It don't give you a shimmy. You don't even pay a light bill. But instead, all of y'all have gotten on this internet to harp about, oh my God, you guys need to dress a certain way. So when I go out to spend a bunch of money, I can feel fancy. I can't feel fancy if I see you with your sagging pants and your bubble coat. Then I'm reminded that I'm also in the same tax bracket as you. And I don't want to be reminded of that.
With the whole sagging pants and Ruth Chris conversation, this is how most black people sound.
Why must Mexican and black people cause so much ruckus in the white man's apartment building?
It never gave constructive criticism, never. It always gives, don't act up in front of these white people. It always gives, you making all black people look bad. It sounds ignorant. It's just like the bonnet conversation, and all of it is definitely 100% rooted in respectability politics.
When it comes to this entire Ruth Chris conversation, I just want to say, boo, shut up. And I am someone who despises sagging. Like, I don't think there is a single solitary place on earth where sagging is appropriate, not even in the fucking hood. Like, why are you flashing me? Why can I see your ass cheeks? Like, put it away. But
as someone who is letting us know this is your first time here, yeah, you couldn't afford it last year. I think your main concern should be, can I continue to afford this meal? I think this comes from a place of jealousy, because you saw people you felt like shouldn't be able to be in the establishment that you had to scrimp and save your panties for.
I just can't. I
told you.
Can I go, please, Wise? Can I go?
I told you.
Oh my God.
Go ahead, Crystal. What are your thoughts?
Listen, I am tired. Black fatigue is for real. I am tired of the ghetto mentality. I am tired. Why is it that everything bad has to be Black? Why does everything bad have to be Black culture? This man was just saying to carry yourself properly. What in the world does this have to do with white people? I don't understand. This has nothing to do with white people. This is the problem with y'all. I know AT, I'm gonna calm down. I know AT's giving me the eye. I'm gonna calm down. Listen, you know I can't because that just irritates me. Do y'all not have any brought up? Do y'all not have any manners? Do y'all not have these things? Why is it that culture means that you have to have your pants sagging, bubble jackets, looking unkept, walking in? It doesn't matter about his coins. And what are you putting this man down because last year he couldn't afford it, but this year he can? You should be applauding him. That means that they are growing. They are doing what they're supposed to do. But you are attacking him because he made a comment to say to our people, carry yourself better. Why do you have to carry yourself like you're trash? Again, the sagging pants. Do we remember where sagging pants? What? Let's talk about the prison system. What does sagging pants stand for? Hello.
You advertising.
So y'all are saying, let's advertise. This is what y'all stand for. Y'all do things, and y'all don't even know why y'all do it. Y'all just do stuff. Y'all, if monkey see, monkey do. And I know people are like, did you call Black people monkey? Whatever. Monkey see, monkey do. Because that's literally what y'all are doing. Y'all are watching fully. Y'all see people do stuff, and instead of you stop and say, this doesn't make any sense. I want to carry myself better. Not for other people, but for myself. It's not for other people. It's for yourself. Do you not have any pride in yourself? Do you not have any confidence? Do you not care about yourself? So you'd rather, this is the things that even upset me here. I was telling somebody, I said, you know, we y'all know where I live. And you go by some of these luxury buildings and it smells like the devil's lettuce, like you just driving past. And the way it just fills up your car, and you're just like, oh my gosh. But that's because you took the thug out the hood, but you didn't take the hood out the thug. Okay? So he
can't
brings
purchase class
wherever he is. And there's a lack of class. This is the problem. Y'all need to be transformed and renewed. Your mind needs to be renewed, because that is why you carry that ghetto culture everywhere you go. And then y'all think this is good. The fact that these girls are on the internet, they are gutter bunnies. Why didn't you send me this before? Because they would have been top notch for the gutter bunnies, because that's gutter bunny behavior. That is just like the girl who attacked the guy who's wearing the young men for wearing quarter zips. Y'all are ridiculous. And this is why y'all will remain gutter, because you behave like this. Do better. Y'all always talk about the ancestors. Do you know what the ancestors are thinking of people like you? Because they work so hard. They carried themselves well. Go back to the Harlem Renaissance and all that. Look how they used to carry themselves. They didn't carry themselves looking like trash.
Classy.
They carried themselves as proper citizens. They looked good. They smelled good, and they did good things. And that is why y'all live on that governmental assistance. That's why y'all live and y'all agree with that liberal mentality, because it's a whole entire mindset. That is a whole indoctrination. That is a whole spiritual holding on y'all. That's the stronghold. Because back then, as Linda B said, they were entrepreneurs. They were building businesses. There was Black Wall Street. People were getting educated the right way, not indoctrinated, educated. They were doing their thing. They carried themselves well. Now in 2026, you want to walk around with your pants sagging, your bubble jackets. You upset when somebody calls you out for walking into a fine establishment and looking like gutter. And then you wonder why you would rather sit down on the government assistance and pass it down from generation to generation like that is some kind of wealth. That is not wealth. That is pathetic. Get it together, please. Sorry, like that just irritates me.
What do you really think?
Seriously, I was insulted by the women trying to clown the fact that he couldn't afford Ruth Chris last year, but he and his wife could afford it this year. Crystal, you hit the nail on the head. That showcased growth. But if you're not in a marriage, you wouldn't really understand what that looks like. You know, I mean, my wife and I, we've been married for a long time, and we didn't start off with the ability to go to Ruth Chris or some of these types of places. You know, we would be doing good to hit the Golden Corral back in the day. That was, you know, a delicacy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, exactly. Waffle House was my go-to. You know what I'm saying? I was insulted by that. AT, I want to get you in there. What are your thoughts?
I could have told you this was going to upset the ladies more than it was going to upset me. At first, I was wondering where the bad language was going to come from, and then I got hit with the N-word so unbelievably hard out of nowhere that I got where it was coming from. So I want to talk about the ladies that started off with the lady who was dressed like she was about to take children on the Magic School Bus. The ones who were pushing back against this gentleman talking about people's clothes. I remember, Crystal, down in your neck of the woods in Midtown Atlanta, steak restaurant, STK, I think is what it's called. Yeah. Really nice. I had to take, for those who don't know, I worked in Wall Street Finance. I took some clients there, got the black card, spent hundreds of dollars over like just 2 plates and like a dessert. It's really expensive there. And I saw what this gentleman's talking about. I'm sitting down with these clients who have millions of dollars invested into our accounts. And in comes what I can only describe as a BET Awards night group of individuals. Crystal's nodding because she sees this all the time. And I wondered, did they just come from the club? Did it just come from throwing some dollars at some girls stripping? And it makes me ask the question, do you love yourself? Do you respect yourself? And most importantly, for all the ladies who are like, you shouldn't be talking about this, do you just assume that we're supposed to respect you on jump? That's the way it's supposed to work. Taking this and saying that this is white people. You want us to dress like white people. Okay. Do you wear pajamas at a wedding? When you go to a funeral, do you wear beach wear? Why not? Why not? Because it's socially acceptable. It's not against the law to wear those things, but it's what society has said. You probably shouldn't wear your thong when showing up to a graduation for your niece. It's probably not appropriate. It's called standards, honor, respect, self-respect at the end of the day as well. And I think that's the issue. We have a lot of individuals, and unfortunately in this case, I see a lot of the Black community. I want to wear my bonnet. I want to wear my Crocs outside. Why not? I want to wear as little as possible when I go into the social setting. And I expect you to respect me the exact same. This has nothing to do with money, y'all. I'll tell you the truth. I am rich in spirit, but if someone was to measure me by the benchmark of financial dollars, I gave it all up for a reason. And when I show up here, I still put on a shirt. When we show up here, we know that Minister Danzel's going to wear a quarter zip. We know he's going to wear a quarter zip, right? We see the ladies. I make fun of Crystal every single day. That's my sister in Christ. And she dresses up when she comes up here. You don't need money to be presentable. You understand that John the Baptist went out and he was eating locusts and he was clothed in sackcloth, and he was still able to be modest. He was still respectable in the way he carried himself. And I think this is the issue, Wise. I'll be honest with you. We have people who are the loudest, who want to be listened to, who want to have all the respect of being heard, and yet either through their actions, like the individuals who go in the comment section to just start screaming and yelling and attacking, and how dare you say that? It's always Crystal. How dare you say this, Crystal, you horrible person, but won't have a conversation because they're so afraid of being tested on their convictions, or they just can't have an actual adult conversation. And it's the same thing with how you dress. Nothing's stopping you. It's not a money thing. Pull them up. See how easy that was? Look, you take both your hands, you come down there, and you pull them up. And if you're like, well, it doesn't work, sell those at a thrift store and go down to the thrift shop and get some jeans that fit, or invest in a belt at the end of the day. But attacking a man, y'all the same women that come out here and say, I can't find a good man. Why is it that I can't find somebody to love me, to look at me? Men won't give me the time of the day. Y'all the same ones to say that. And yet when a man comes up here and says, you know, I actually appreciate it when men don't have their pants all the way down to their ankles, as if they're actually saying open for invitation. I actually like when men are appropriate, tailored, and go outside and carry themselves well. And I like when women do the same. How dare you, you coon? But I still want to find a good man. It's just the hypocrisy. I hope that these individuals wake up and realize that even the believers in the house, 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31, whether you eat or drink or whatever you do it all for the glory of the Lord. So I'll give you a hint here and I'll land on this. Before you go outside, if you have the audacity to say that I believe in Christ, I'm a Christian, I believe in the things that he walked for, look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, would I be comfortable going before the kingdom of heaven dressed like this? And because I know some of y'all are prideful, like, yeah, I'll wear anything. would you be comfortable giving an account to Christ himself as to why what you're wearing represents him?
You see, those young ladies, you know, it'd be hard for me to believe that they would consider themselves members of the kingdom just based off of their behavior and, you know, what they showcase. You know, we judge people, you know, we judge the tree by the fruit that it bears. And what I saw there, and that lemon, I had to throw the lemon in there. I had to throw the lemon in there. I had to. Linda, I'll give you the next word. But what are your thoughts?
Well, I can just tell you right now that those last 4 clips are part of the 92% that voted for Kamala Harris. I bet you they did.
Or didn't vote at all.
If they voted at all, I know, right? But yeah, I agree with AT. You know, you wonder why these women are out here like, why can't I find a good man? Why can't? And you're behaving like this. They promote and want to go along with everything that they think is down with the culture. Some of that stuff that's down with the culture, we need to just throw it completely away. There is nothing so-called white about dressing appropriately and fixing yourself up and grooming yourself. I mean, we just talked about the Black folks from back in the day, how they came out looking top tier. Yes. Every time they stepped out of the house, men with their jackets, their suits, women with their dresses and their little gloves and little hats on. We need to get back to class. And we need to stop thinking that things that are classy, y'all just trying to be white. No, we just trying to be respectable. Stop doing that. That is just so dumb. That is just really, really dumb. And again, I want to reiterate that part about the prison culture with the pants hanging down. Y'all really need to know where that comes from. Or maybe they do know it, they just don't care. But that is just pathetic. And sometimes underwear not even clean. Y'all just that is just really, really disgusting. It can really, really make me not want to eat my steak. You know, that is just infringing upon my right to have a nice atmosphere when I go someplace, when I go out to eat. I'm just saying, y'all, it's just really pathetic. I think we need to get back to class. I think we need to get back to respect and stop diminishing Black people to being like this lowly, I can dress any kind of way and I can have babies by all these folks and I can do all this and I can be on welfare. That's being Black. That's being you for those that are like that, but that's not being Black. That's all.
I mean, again, all these people, they talk about, you know, we need to know the history. Yeah, you do. Because if you go back and you look at footage, you look at, pictures from Black folks, you know, pre-70s. Oh my goodness. Yes. Even if you didn't have the money, you might have had you still had a sports coat on. The shirt might have been mismatched. You might have had something, you know what I'm saying? It might have been a little off, but they did the best that they could to be as sharp as they possibly could. What we got going on right now is just outrageous. And the worst is, you know, when I see the overweight dudes, you got a super skin tight shirt on, skinny jeans on that you can't pull up. Like, what are we doing? And you're 50 years old. You got gray in your hair, bro. Like, what are we doing, man? There's a real problem in certain parts of the community. And they don't want you to call them out on it. They don't want you to say anything to them about their piss poor behavior and the way they conduct and carry themselves. They do not say anything. I don't know where that came from. I really don't. But I will be thankful. I will be glad when that fad goes away. Celeste, what are your thoughts?
The way you look on the outside is a reflection of who you are on the inside. I remember I'm sure all of us here on the panel and in the chat, we were taught that as children. We were taught that there was some correlation between how you presented yourself, how you showed up, as they say, and what you thought about yourself. It is not an issue of satisfying and pleasing white people. It is an issue of saying, I realize that I am my own announcement. And when I walk into a room, I am telling the room something about me. And people who love themselves, who have integrity and respect for themselves, have a care about what their announcement says about them. And they understand that based on what they say, they are that determines in many ways how they're going to be treated. So I say all the time that conversation was like double touch. It's two ropes swinging at the same time. The difference in conversation is that one rope is the conversation you can actually hear. The other rope is a conversation that's nonverbal, but can also be heard. So when you're in this conversation with the public, you're out of your home. So presumably you're out of pajamas and house coats and slippers and bonnets and whatever else it is you do in the privacy of your own home. You are in a conversation with the world, and you are telling the world, this is how I want you to think about me, and this is how I want you to treat me. So if you are satisfied going into places in spaces and announcing yourself as somebody who is a misfit in those places in spaces, then don't be upset if you are treated like the misfit you showed up as. And don't be upset at the other people at the other table who are sitting there who recognize that you're a misfit and comment on it. And not to always be pinning the tail on the donkey. But however, it doesn't seem like the tail ever belongs anywhere else. What Linda B brought up, I don't want to move past so quickly. Back in the during the Summer of Love, the Smithsonian came out with a list of hidden or micro white supremacy tactics in which they said doing math was white supremacists. Showing up on time, literally, they had a list and they put it on a billboard and hung it outside of the Smithsonian. Showing up on time was white supremacy. So basically, they have conned, and these are liberal people. You know who supports the Smithsonian, and you know who was in office at that time. These are liberal people who have convinced Black people that proper behavior is akin to being white. So that Black people think, well, if I buck the system and rebel, what I'm doing is rejecting white supremacy, not knowing that what you are doing is rejecting yourself. You are rejecting the dignity and the respect that you are asking for. You are literally rebelling against it by agreeing to become a societal misfit.
Minister Denzel, we'll give you the last word and we will get ready to close out.
Well, the brother, I appreciate the brother bringing the subject up. I think it's something that needs to be talked about a lot more often. And we on our side have got to stop being afraid to address and contend with these people who project that stupidity as if it's okay. I think that it's sad that that these people don't even understand what decency is anymore. That you have that being decent has to be argued about. It's irrational. But then, some of our elders dropped the ball. They didn't teach their children basic decency. A lot of people are having children at a young age, and so they're children themselves. They don't understand the concept of decency or just being intelligent about their way they live their life. Logic is not being taught to the people. They don't know how to think critically. So if you're constantly exposed to MTV and Dish Nation and all of these so-called black programs, you're getting programmed to think that that's what the real world is supposed to be all about. And you'll think that way until you have somebody come along and check you. The proverb says that a man thinks he's right until somebody else comes along and examines him. Yeah. And so we need this kind of examination publicly. We need to have these kind of dialogues. We need to have these kind of conversations. And I'm not talking about on the Breakfast Club because they ain't going to help you out there. Those people are not going to help you. You need to have these conversations on decent platforms where people can actually hash this stuff out and break down why this is so foolish. I don't think we see enough of that going on. I think that because of their attitude, a lot of times they intimidate some of the people on our side to be quiet. But like the Linda was saying, people just need to get out there, and we need to get out there and start speaking our it's not our truth, but speaking the truth. You know, because there are too many people living by their truth, and they're in that condition that they don't really understand what's going on. This is important to talk about, and it's important to force them to explain why dressing like that is okay, and why defending someone dressing like that is okay. You see, we got to make them make sense. We got to make them defend their lack of rationality, and maybe it'll help them. Now, again, some people can't be helped. Some people are beyond help. The Bible even talks about reprobate minds. So there are some people you can't help. But because you can't help some, don't mean you can't help. Because you can't help all, doesn't mean you can't help some. We got to go after those that can be helped.
Absolutely, absolutely. Shout out to Roxanne joining the ARP family. Appreciate the support. Thank you to Cindy. I think I read that one already. Super sticker with the $10 super sticker. Thank you to Jason for coming through with the $2 super sticker. Shout out to Trump Malcolm says Ruth Chris is popping. Trump made it more affordable too. That might be the problem.
Yes.
Shout out to Kirsten. It's called Standards. Absolutely should, babe. You're absolutely right there. Shout out to Mark coming through with the $5 super chat. Says Ruth Chris comments about dress code. I use a saying, when in Rome, do as Romans do. Being an individual is cool, but not always. Absolutely, Mark. Zeph says pants on the ground song. Shout out to Mark with the $10 super chat. Says just tune in and show up to ARP, then listen. Yeah, that. Follow that.
Amen.
Shout out to LS says, wow, I'm at STK right now putting in work. Sorry, AT. NBA players roll through dressed the same. Yeah.
That's the problem too. We have a lot of people who have media, who have money, who everyone sees on television dressing like clowns, and so kids want to do it too. They want to emulate their heroes.
They're emulating their favorite NBA, NFL player, favorite rapper, so forth and so on. Yeah. Shout out to Jay Glow with the $10 super chat. Says speak up at grocery store, barbershop, college, classes, and vote. All right. Absolutely. And shout out to Kenny Cooper with the $5 super chat. Says when I'm out, I'm gonna be looking presentable and or dressed to impress, not trying to be white. You might want to hang with Mr. Cooper. Shout out to Kenny Cooper, man. Shout out to Kenny Cooper.
Hey, Wise, can I ask a question? If being decent is being white, how is that not being racist? How is that not be yourself putting white people above you?
Correct.
A lot of these people, they're inferior. They have an inferiority complex.
That's irrational thinking. There you go.
But Minister Denzel, when you think about it, they're just Gavin Newsom said it. I'm just like, low SAT scores, can't read, don't dress properly. If you do anything else, then you white. So there you go.
And that's why you don't have a lot of people from that side of things, going at him, because maybe they believe that.
They actually probably do. Minister Denzel, I like to encourage people to finish the sentence. So if being on time is white, just finish the sentence. I want to hear you say it. Being late is being black. If dressing appropriately is being white, that's fine. Just say the rest of that sentence. Dressing like a clown is being black. And then you realize how unbelievably stupid that thought process it is.
That's my point. Make them think critically.
Yeah. Shout out to Kitty Camper becoming a member. I'm not sure whose channel, but maybe Crystal's or so, but shout out to you. Appreciate you. We're gonna get ready to get up out of here, man. Thank you guys so much for pulling up. If you
just please, Papa Dodd sent something saying that he tried to send me, ask me anything, and it wasn't received. I checked the email; it wasn't there. I don't have anything from you, Papa Dodd. So it's ask me anything 4547 at Gmail. Try again, please, because I don't have anything from you in the inbox.
Okay.
Can I get one thing in?
And one other thing too. Make sure that when you do send an email, Papa Dodd, if your email is different than what it is on your YouTube handle, make sure you put in there who you are so she knows. But go ahead, Crystal.
I just wanted to tell everybody thank you so far for all those that are founding supporters of the Crystal Batiste for Congress. Thank you so much. We are 32% of the way. We are knocking it down. So definitely, I appreciate all those who have supported. And The deadline for me to qualify is next Friday. So definitely please go check out the website, do what you can, spread the word, donate, become a founding supporter. Truly appreciate it. And we're going to go in and make changes. That is what we're going to do. We're going to bring God into Congress, because I know some people are saying in the comments that God has nothing to do with government. That's where you're wrong. If you read through the entire word of God, God is always involved in government.
Everywhere.
And that is why you need voices that are letting God lead. Because at the end of the day, when God is leading, you are cloaked in a blanket of humility. You understand that God is your compass. And that is why I'm running on God, guts, and Georgia on top. Because God, I need him to lead me in everything that I do. I don't want to run ahead of him. When you have God leading you, you have 20/20 spiritual vision. So you know everything that's going on and you know how to handle everything. Guts, because y'all know I ain't afraid to tell nobody nothing. I really don't care. I'm going to tell y'all the truth. And we want to put Georgia back on top. So definitely thank you for all of those that are supporting. And again, go over to crystalbatisteforcongress.com. It's pinned in the chats. Go ahead over there and join the campaign. I see people are signing up to volunteer, so I will let y'all know how. I appreciate it, and I have a lot of asks coming. So thank you.
Outstanding. Yeah, go over to crystalbatisteforcongress.com. It is pinned in the community page over here at ARP, so go check it out over there. If you have not supported, anything helps. $1 and up helps. Anything. So any way that you could support, please do so. And shout out to Sin with the $2 super chat. Says, I'm so old I remember zoot suits. Minister Dems, did you have one of them back in the day?
No, sir. No, sir. I wasn't that crazy.
No zoot suit, no conch or nothing going on in there.
Wasn't that crazy?
I can see it though. I can see it. Had the hat with it too. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, sir.
Oh my goodness. Well, I appreciate you guys pulling up today. Thank you, Linda B and AT and Celeste and Danzel and Crystal. Thank you guys so much for pulling up. You guys make sure you go over to click the link. I believe I have that. It's somewhere up in here. I think it's pinned in the chat. Go over there. If you haven't voted already, go over there and vote on Liztown. Please make that happen today. Enjoy the weekend. Go out and touch some grass. If it's warm enough for you to get outside, go out there and touch some grass, as Crystal would say.
Get some
quick
therapy.
Announcement as well. A little bit of therapy if you need so. Quick announcement, starting next week, starting in March, we are adding an additional day to ARP in the morning. So be on the lookout. We will be on the air Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8:30 Central Standard Time, and I believe that's 6:30 for people like AT way out there on the West Coast. Come check us out. Come hang out with us. We'll be on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for ARP in the morning. We'll appreciate you guys. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the weekend. Thank you to the Blues for helping to keep things peaceful in the chat. Shout out to all my ARP family members, and shout out to all the ARP family in general and everybody that supported the channel financially today. We really appreciate you guys supporting what we're doing. Crystal, I got to get the website to your Pops store, because there's some people out there that want one of those ridiculously blessed shirts or hoodies. So we got to get that. Make sure you send that over to me so we can get that pinned up somewhere, because there's some folks that want to get one of those hoodies. So I want to make sure that they're able to do that. And, if you want to get one of those Pray Don't Worry hoodies, go and check the link. It's in the description box below, or anything else that we have via merch. Shout out to you guys, man. We appreciate you guys. Lord willing, we will be back at this thing on Tuesday for ARP in the morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We already have everybody lined up. Van's coming back to hang out with us. My guy Daniel for the Unexplained Outlook is coming in, pulling up for the first time. So be on the lookout for that. Lord willing, we will be here on Tuesday. Enjoy the weekend, man. And as always, keep God first. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all next time. Peace.
We won't stop. I won't quit. Stand for the truth. No counterfeit. Real ones rise. Let the fake ones split. Repent for the lies.
Let the darkness live.